Welcome to Direcast, where the dice aren't loaded, but the hosts sure are. Here at Direcast.
Sorry.
You wrote that one.
Did I not loaded? Are you guys loaded?
Yep.
Can you give me some money? Or is that not what loaded means?
No, we're talking about alcohol.
Oh. Okay, no, I'm good then.
Definitely not loaded in neither sense.
No, yeah, we definitely don't have a lot of money. I think even between us, we wouldn't count as loaded. Here at Direcast, our group of 6 extracurricular activities play different RPGs, bringing you a new game and system every few weeks. This week we're playing a game by Grant Howitt, going back to our chaotic roots with Kaiju Girls, a game of schoolgirls who turn into kaiju when they get excited, like all other schoolgirls. My name's Lukey, and this week's question is, what is your favourite movie monster? Oh crap, I didn't think this through. I don't know, I don't watch like a lot of monster movies. I like Scully from Monsters, Inc. He looks really cuddly.
Counts. They do.
That'll do.
I think he counts. He's got pretty colours and he's cuddly and I like him.
And I don't see a problem with that. I really hope I don't steal this from Jacob. I don't think I will though. Hello there. My name is Peter, and my favourite movie monster is Clover, because I love the field. I love the film Cloverfield. It is one. Oh right.
Mm.
And the monster's name in that is Clover. I think that's
I thought you were just like against a certain type of grasses. Like
My
you see fields and it's clover and it's oof.
My favourite monster is hay fever. Giving me snotty noses at a time when it's really bad to have a snotty nose. No, it's Clover.
I have never seen
like
Cloverfield.
It is a good film, it is a good film, I will say. Very well shot, interesting. People have been talking about it for years. There's a whole like ARG online thing if you want deeper lore, or you can just find a YouTube video about it like I did. So that's my movie monster.
Hi, I'm Jacob, and my favourite movie monster, I'm going to go for a classic, the Xenomorph from the Aliens franchise. Fuck me, that thing is so well designed, so fucking iconic.
Yeah, it is, and it looks like a penis.
And that's kind of the idea, because H.R. Geiger was into
Penises.
blending,
I never realised that.
blending sexuality and pregnancy and technology and all of this.
That's why I hate those films. I see now. Okay, cool.
I have a drinking game for that film where you drink every time there's a visual innuendo. You get real drunk.
There is a YouTuber who I like called TB Skyen, and he does. He's a Danish guy who does sort of character design videos. That's his shtick. And he has a fantastic episode on the kind of the design history and of the Xenomorph. And it is, I highly recommend it. It is very worth checking out. But yes, I love the Xenomorph, and I find it slightly tragic how that's become kind of our default monster design, like cinematically. And like every cheap-ass monster is a knockoff of it, including the Future Predator from Primeval, which was my close second runner-up.
Oh god, it kind of is, isn't it?
And like, Future Predator, the monsters from even Clover, actually from Cloverfield.
I would highly disagree. I think the Xenomorph looks too clean and produced. I would say that
maybe it does
Xenomorph
now.
Looks like it's wearing a gimp suit.
Maybe it does now.
Clover comes from the more practical effects from The Thing, I would argue, and that kind of that genre. I'm now trying to remember the name of the producer, but I can't. So
John Carpenter was the director.
Yeah, Carpenter, director. So John. Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're getting too much into film geek land. So shall we move on?
Hi, I'm Helen.
Carry on.
And my favourite monster in any film is the hunter from Bambi.
No! Why would you say that?
The impact this character has. You never see them, you never hear them, you know nothing about them. And then bam! Literally.
Yep.
And the entire tone of the entire film shifts upside down and everything is awful, and it's all just because of this one character that we never see, and also humanity is the monster.
Oh, Bam.
Bambi was my putting the bam in Bambi.
Oh
Sorry.
dear.
Bambi was my favourite movie when I was a child, and
This explains a lot about you.
Yeah, it does.
That along with Watership Down.
Oh my God, Jacob!
This is why Jacob doesn't go
I was
outside.
never particularly bothered by that scene, but Mum could never watch it.
I never cried.
She would always.
Everyone was like, "You're gonna cry." I was like, "I never cry."
Well, I didn't see it until I was a teenager.
Mum would always have to get up and leave when that scene happened.
Aww.
I never noticed this because I was too enraptured by that scene.
This does explain a lot about you.
I'm just going to leave that there.
Jacob.
Talk to your therapist about this.
And now Jacob's weekend pursuits include fox hunting and.
Oh fuck no!
Wasn't there like a BuzzFeed article a few years ago that was like the hottest Disney dads, and Bambi's dad was included on it? And it was just like he's a deer.
Staggeringly beautiful.
Oh. Really gave us the horns with that one.
Oh, they're antlers.
I know. Shut up.
H, save us!
I
I
don't have
beg of
anything
you.
good to say for you, and I don't watch monster movies. Hi, I'm H.
I wrote with Bambi.
Remember, the real monster is almost always capitalism.
It really
Just
is.
man.
Yeah. Hi, I'm H, and I wanted to be clever
men.
and say, like, I don't know, racism in The Get Out or something, but I haven't watched it all the way through because that made me way too stressed. Just, I'm not good with, like, high anxiety movies, so I like horror in, like,
Yeah, me too.
audio form or written, but if it's on a film, I kind of panic because, oh my god, it's so stressful. So I'm going to go for, like, I don't know, one of the Kaiju in Pacific Rim, because that's just an excellent film of just big things hitting things with swords. Like, come on.
I do enjoy Pacific
Or maybe
Rim.
like the fish dude in Shape of Water, because
He's cool.
I mean, he's a gentleman, you know.
He is.
He's just a big eggy lad.
I haven't seen it. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, there's like monster. If you're into that.
My name is Matt, and my favourite movie monster is definitely King Kong. I know it's cliche, but there's so much going on there. The whole thing's an allegory for colonialism. It's gorillas are just objectively cool. King Kong's great. I love the original film. I love the 2005-ish remake. King Kong's great. King Kong's great. So I am the game master this week, and we are playing a game called Kaiju Girls by our old friend Grant Howitt. So this is just a one-page RPG, and it's kind of based around you guys playing schoolgirls who are also giant kaiju. So kaijus are like Godzillas and King Kongs and what have yous. And it's very, very simple. You play it with a handful of D6s, about 4 or 5 D6s that you need. And that's that. We've already kind of created our characters a little bit, which may or may not appear in the recording. We'll see. So I'll leave that open for the editor. But yeah, so we've all created characters. We've rolled our school drama, and we've rolled our kaiju drama. And so all that is left is to get cracking on with the game. So this is pretty simple in terms of how you actually resolve conflict. So most of it is just free RP. But then when you encounter a difficulty, I, your GM, will rate that difficulty between 1 and 10. And then you guys have 1d6 in your hand as standard, right? And you have to roll that. And if you get a 5 or a 6, then the difficulty level drops by 1, right? So if I've given you a difficulty rating of 4 and you roll a 5, then it's now 3. And when you get to 0, the problem is solved, right? So every time you roll your dice is like a turn and we move on. And your aim is to roll enough 5s and 6s to get it down to 0. And once you get to 0, the problem is solved. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might need to be reminded. later.
We'll remind you 3 goes. So that's the simple way. So you have 1 d6 in your hand as standard. Then you can add a d6 for any of your skills. So some of, like, you guys have created schoolgirls who are good at athletics or photography or whatever it might be, or hacking. So if you're good at that, you can add another d6. And then you can augment it, and you can help each other out on a particular problem. So more than one person can roll. And all you have to do is get down to 0, right?
Cool.
Now, the complex bit is if you roll a hand of dice and none of them are above 5, then you have to add a stress dice. And what happens with the stress dice is you can roll them once they're in the hand. You can roll them the same as any normal dice, but if they roll a 1, then once this problem is solved, you will change form. So if you are in your schoolgirl form, you will become a kaiju, and if you're in your kaiju form, you will return to being a schoolgirl.
Just need to take a step outside for a moment. I need to become a giant lizard.
Wait,
Yeah,
so sorry,
like,
how does that happen?
So basically, when you're rolling, if you're trying to solve a problem, and you do not roll a 5 or a 6 in your hand, then you will add a stress dice. You can also do that voluntarily if you want to buff your roll. But if that dice rolls a 1 at any point, then at the end of the scene, you will shift form. So it's kind of like a chaos element. So you might be like, oh, I'm trying to flirt with my boyfriend and be cute. But then you roll a 1 on your stress dice. And you're like, well, at the end of this scene, I'm going to turn into a giant moth. So I'll have to kind of make sure I leave before that happens.
I want to jump in at this point and say it does say at the end of the action, not
At the end of the action.
Not the scene.
At the end of the action? That seems a bit immediate. That doesn't seem right.
I think that's kind of the point.
Oh, you just kind of blast
The
off.
point being that we overexert. Like, if I'm in kaiju form and I'm trying to push a boulder down, I overexert myself and lose control of the form.
Oh, I see. All right, that makes sense.
So,
we'll do it that way. Yeah. So
at
it's
this
just
point-
that roll. Then you would just immediately become a kaiju, right?
Yeah.
By that
Yeah.
logic, you roll a 1 immediate.
Yeah, or almost immediately. Like, you can hold on to it for a few seconds to get clear or something, but my read of this was that it will be rolling a 1 is a dramatic event that like completely shifts the scene.
Absolutely.
Has anyone other than me and Peter listened to Old Harry's Game, the Radio 4 comedy drama?
No, I haven't.
I know
There's
exactly what you're going to reference.
Yes, there's a character in that called Scunthorpe who
Scunspawn. It's
And-
Scumspawn.
Scumspawn, my bad. And there are a number of he's an unreliable shapeshifter, and there are a number of points when he gets there are a number of points where he just gets flustered while in shapeshifted form and loses control and turns into like a vacuum or something like that.
He tries to become a giant sea monster and turns into a prawn on a bed of lettuce.
Hang on. It says when I'm just reading it, but if you roll a 1 on your stress dice, once the action is resolved, you switch into whatever form you're not currently on. So it wouldn't happen straight away. It happens when the action is resolved.
So is
The
that
action
every
could be
ti-
immediate.
Every time
It could
we
be
roll,
immediate, but it isn't necessarily immediate.
Every time we roll a stress die as part of everything else, or just on its own, that can happen.
Every time you roll a stress dice, if you roll a 1,
Okay.
you're fucked.
Okay, so at this point, everyone in our lives thinks that we all have like IBS or something because we're all suddenly like, I gotta go, and just
Yeah, that's pretty much how I interpret
Emergency.
it. Is that like the game gives you the chance to make your excuses and get out of the room because it's going to be whatever your particular thing you're trying to do is finished. So you've got moments, but then you're like, right, I need to go now.
Cool.
Which
That's
as
what
your
I was going
benevolent
for as
GM
well, but I
will
was-
allow.
yeah.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, it's just chatting, pretty much.
Chatting
sorry.
and smashing.
Chatting and smashing. Alrighty.
Oh, my
So,
favourite
and
kind of
obviously
date.
I'll explain that again as we go through it. But I think it is pretty simple. So just to recap, because I don't know how much of last week's will make it into the edit, but to recap, you guys are students at high school in the what's the name of the school? I did give it a name. You're in the Mitsunari High School in the suburb of Kyoto City, Kasuki Ward, in Japan. And you guys are all schoolgirls, and you go to this mixed gender school in kind of a big city. And you guys have all created your characters as well.
Yes.
So should we go through your characters? And I'm going to need their names. I'm going to need their
Can we put them
like
in the
their
chat?
interests, their school drama, and what they look like as a kaiju. So should we go in the order I've got us? Helen, tell me about your character.
Hello. My name is Kaho Watanabe, and I was supposed to say I am a human, because the next thing was human appearance.
You appear as a human, for you are human.
And I appear as a human. I'm going to be a novelist one day. That's my dream. I want to become a famous novelist. And I really love literature at school, particularly Japanese literature class. That's my favourite. And I like to read, and I sometimes walk on train lines, and my parents don't like that bit very much. And sometimes, when I get a little bit angry, I turn into a giant moth.
You know,
Excellent.
teenage girl stuff.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is that my rival is sabotaging my culture festival exhibit.
Yes,
How
that
could
is
they?
true. We will get to that later. Then, Lukey, tell me about your Kaiju Girl.
Mine is Helen. Would my name be pronounced Akane or Akane?
Akane.
Akane. My name is Akane Ito. I look like a ballet dancer, which is good because I am a ballet dancer. That's my hobby, but it's also my dream. I want to be. So officially on the character sheet, it's my hobby, but that's what I want to do.
Also my passion and my life.
Also my passion, which my parents do encourage. What my parents don't encourage is, although they like that my favourite subject is art, I do some extra legal graffiti art, which they're not a huge fan of, so they wish I wouldn't do that. I have a crush from my ballet class. His name is Joe Biden.
Yeah, so that's JYOUBAIDEN.
Yeah, no relation.
Joe Biden, no relation.
Joe
Complete
Biden.
coincidence.
And he's
I
great
love
at
that
ballet.
joke.
He's so good at ballet. We get paired up in a lot of dances and pas de deux, and we're wonderful together. But boy, is he dumb. So I'm tutoring him so that he can pass high school and we can go to ballet college together and just be a ballet power couple. But he's just so exceptionally dumb. It's a bit of a strain. And unfortunately, when things become a bit of a strain or I get really upset, I do turn into a giant velociraptor with laser eyes and a bone sword, which does cramp my style a little bit.
Wow.
I imagine it would.
Yeah.
Not great for a ballet dancer.
No, light on your feet. And then, Jacob, tell me about your Kaiju Girl.
My Kaiju Girl is Akane's best friend, Asuna Ayase, who, no relation to the Ayases from Golden Sky Stories.
Complete coincidence.
Complete coincidence. She is an athletics prodigy who is fascinated by local history and urban exploration, which she engages in with Akane. They kind of aid and abet each other.
Yeah. You explore, I art.
Yes, indeed.
Nice.
Quite literally, like 20 stories above the ground, high art. She is uncertain what her dreams are, but it's something to do with urban development, and her drama is transfer student. There is a transfer student from
somewhere.
I assumed that was international transfer student.
So
I don't know why.
So, I mean, the student itself is kind of irrelevant for me. I was going to give you so it says the transfer student is winning all the sporting medals.
Yeah.
It can be that, but if you weren't too bothered about sporting, I can have them be like a photographer or something that you actually give a shit about instead.
I'm fine for it to be athletic. I'm fine for it to be athletics.
Cool, that's fine. I just want to
transfer
check
student stealing my
gelled
thunder.
with your view of the character. That's
Yep.
fine then. And when you are a kaiju,
when it makes me so mad that I occasionally go on the verge of turning into a spiky ass boar the size of a double-decker bus that breathes fire and releases nightmare spores.
I am Kanako, also known on the many Korean and Japanese servers as Monkey. It's more sort of monk. Actually, no, it's Monkey. Monk. Monkey. Get me some PG tips and a mid laner. Who loves English literature. They are bilingual, so they do both English and Japanese. They speak them both. and they spend most of their times in PC bangs, which their parents do not approve of. Yeah, playing with friends. They're on a small sort of open. They're on a small, quite low level open division team. But I have to sneak out at night to go and do it because I'm having to play. We got into an open division, but due to a cock up, we're on Australian servers, which don't have good internet at the best of times. So we've accidentally entered in that, and we're winning it. However, they when they get really, really annoyed, they turn into a ginormous sort of a ginormous octopus with writhing tentacles, laser eyes, and a bone sword.
Excellent.
And they are in fact a kaiju non-binary pal by the sounds of it.
Oh yeah, are they non-binary?
Are they non-binary?
You've been using they.
I have been using they. That's just because I didn't get round to saying she. So she is.
Okay. She can. Oh, they can identify however they or she would like.
Yeah.
We are a very welcoming school here at Mitsunari Academy.
However,
very welcoming.
However, so I'm not baiting
group.
anything. I will say she. She is a she.
Right. She is a she. Cool.
Unfortunately.
Finally, H. Tell us about your kaiju.
Hello, I'm Aiko Yamamoto, and I like biology, and I like looking at things on the internet, and I'm very good at it. And did you know the blue-ringed octopus is incredibly venomous and is the only octopus that could kill a human? I also am trying to invest. I'm also trying to invest in Bitcoin. I think that blockchain is the future. But currently, I just have to scam 8-year-olds on Neopets to get currency, and then exchange that for Bitcoin. But it's working out okay. When it doesn't work out okay, I sometimes turn into a very large, hammer-headed shark with rows upon rows of teeth, and sometimes some lightning happens too. It is very sad that I do not turn into an octopus.
I love how you're obsessed
I
with
am apologising.
Alright, so I'm going to put you in... So those are our characters, and I'm going to now put you in the world. So we've cut the fat out, and we have gone for the Power Rangers logic. So you guys know each other, you guys are aware that you are all each kaijus, but nobody else knows this. These are your secret identities. And you're trying to juggle all the regular concerns of being a teenager in school with also being kaijus. This town has a bit of a problem with kaijus. It's becoming a semi-regular occurrence. It's a bit of a problem. Like, in fact, the mayor got elected on the platform of I'm going to deal with this kaiju problem. Hasn't done much about it since. But it's very like a known thing. People are kind of a bit used to it now. But you guys are linked up with your mentor. And your mentor is if you go into the pond in like the school, like the park across the road from the school, you go into that park, there is a pond, and in that pond there are 2 fish. And one of them is a koi carp called Dan, who doesn't speak. And the other one is Gin, the master of all fins, who is your mentor. He's your... I can't remember the name of the mentor of the Power Rangers, but he's the guy in the tube who you can never see his face. That guy.
He's
That's
our
him.
Mr. Miyagi.
He's your Mr. Miyagi. He's your...
That's a different reference.
I know, but it felt appropriate.
Shredder. He's your Giles. He's like insert training character here, right?
He's never heard of any of those characters, so when we compare him to
He
them,
doesn't
he's
have a
confused.
television in the pond. Like...
He ended up in this pond because someone won him at a carnival and emptied him in there.
It's a long, tragic backstory, and somehow he's also Welsh. We're just going to go with that.
Okay.
Anyway,
Cool.
So you guys, we're going to open scene. It is midday break. You guys have got classes later in the afternoon. It's lunchtime, and you guys have gathered, as you often do at lunch, in and around Gin's pond, so that you can chat to your mentor, and you're kind of gathering round while you're waiting for him to surface. And you know you have maybe 20 minutes until you're expected back in school. So, would you guys like to do anything before Gin is ready for you?
I'm sketching a portrait of Dan. He's posing real well.
Dan is doing like the fish equivalent of like the gun
muscle.
show with his
the
fins.
gun show.
Like
Yeah, he absolutely is. I'm making him look so ripped. I've got my little notebook out. I'm sat cross-legged on the floor, and I'm just like, yes, Dan, yes, that is the perfect pose. Hold it. Oh, he looks so good in this portrait.
Given you're an artist, I will allow that he looks good in this portrait.
Yeah.
Anyone else got any burning things they want to do with their characters before Gin arrives?
I mean, I'm sitting there reading.
Yep.
I am doing assorted athletic nonsense around my favourite low-hanging branch on a nearby tree. This is not just for my own elucidation. I am also keeping, watch for people approaching, but I am doing so while doing
parkour,
pull-ups and balancing and.
Yeah, it's kind of this branch. The bark is kind of worn off a little bit because this is your favourite branch, and you've done this quite a lot over the last few weeks. So it's nice and smooth for you.
I am going to be on my phone. Browsing patch notes because there's going to be a patch in a couple of days, which means a meta shift, which means a headache. So
Yes.
Kanako is like, oh, which hero am I playing now?
Finally, Aiko?
I will be sketching in probably in the back of my maths textbook, a little picture of a little cute octopus.
Yep, there is. It joins the regular school of other cute octopuses of varying denominations that are littered throughout all of your textbooks.
They're all quite accurate as well. Some of them.
Yeah, it's you can tell which species it is.
Yep.
Despite the fact it's kind of cutesy and has anime eyes, it's very clear this is a blue ring. Anyway, so you guys are all there, sitting there, being your key defining features for the team, and then you see a telltale bubbling in the pond. And to a casual observer, it might look slightly supernatural. You'll be like, my goodness, is there some kind of gigantic hippo in this pond? And then after about 10 seconds, the most underwhelming pop, and a little golden head pokes it out, and he's like, Kaiju Girls, are you there? Are you all here?
Yes.
I am Gin, the master of fins.
We know, we've met you before, Gin.
Yes.
Would we call him an honorific thing?
That's true.
Sensei.
Could we go for Sensei? Would that be
Sensei would be appropriate.
Yeah,
Sensei.
Yes.
it just means teacher. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yes,
will
Sensei,
call me.
we've met you.
You may.
all
Yes,
the time.
but I always greet everyone by introducing myself.
I mean, if we don't want to make it as formal as you can do just San, Gin-san.
Yeah. Gin-san.
That's just like calling him
Gin-san.
Mr. Gin.
Yes, you will call me Gin-san. That is I. I am Gin-san, the master of all fins.
You
and
wouldn't call
fins.
yourself Gin-san, that would be weird.
I am Mr. Gin.
I am telling you
They
what to call
call me Mr. Kid.
He's Welsh.
If
he
we're
doesn't
well
know the
brought
norms.
up Japanese girls will know what to call you.
Listen, Watanabe, I do not have the time to discuss
It's
semantics
Watanabe.
with you this- Watanabe. I do not have the time to discuss semantics or diction with you today. Today's a very urgent day. I'm from Wales, you see. Japanese is my second language, you must understand. I should do a side note. I should do a side note. I will try my very best to do the pronunciation correct, but if I fuck up, feel free to call me out.
It's extra hard in a Welsh accent.
Yeah, right, here we go. Yes. Hello, Anthony Hopkins. I have Kaiju Girls. Kaiju Girls.
Yes,
I'm so glad you have come. It's terrible. It is. You see, you know that we've been having all of these dreadful problems with other kaijus over the last three or 4 months. Since we
Yeah,
know
let's
each
name
other.
a few of them. There was
the dreadful jellyfish of May, and then there was
the alligator in March.
oh yes, the marching alligator. That was terrible. Yes. They're still rebuilding downtown after that one. Oh dear. And then we
There
had,
was the sewer eel.
the sewer eel, yes. The wandering minstrel, he was very dangerous. Yes, it was a guitar with legs. It was terrifying. The power cords were destructive enough to cause earthquakes for 50 miles. As you can all see, there's been a lot of kaiju activity of late. But as you all know, Kaiju Girls, I have known about the arrival of every single one of these kaijus because of my prophetic pebbles. And so, as you guys know, Gin at the bottom of his pond has a load of pebbles, and each of these pebbles is inscribed with characters. He doesn't know who made these prophecies, but they have all prophesied the arrival of a dangerous kaiju. They prophesied your arrival as heroes to save this area, and all of them have proved accurate. And he tells you now that I have got to my very last pebble. This is the last prophecy I have. And so I don't know what happens after this, you see. This is where my wisdom ends. And all it says on this pebble is that in 3 days' time, the moon door will open.
Moon door. What does that mean?
Well, I assume it's a door, and I assume that when it opens, it's not going to be very pleasant for anyone involved. And I am going to go out on a limb here, and assume that when it does open, the thing that comes out will be rather large and kaiju-ish.
You don't have any limbs.
I was about to say that.
I am the master of fins, as you well know, Watanabe.
He has fins. I haven't.
But they're
decided
not
on it.
limbs.
They are appendages, are they not?
Is there another
I
fish
think
waiting to
an
replace
appendage is a
you,
limb.
who might have more stones?
This is
right.
listen.
Yeah, is there another pond with more
I
stones?
will.
I feel we're rather missing the point.
Yeah, I will. I will do what the player themselves, did themselves, and just Google moon door, and what you get back is the
Game of Thrones.
you get a combination of games. I'm assuming I probably don't get much, but I know from the regular Google search that you get it's a type of very round door in a garden.
Oh yes.
Or
that's Japanese,
it's that one
isn't it?
from Game of Thrones. Chinese.
All right, so tell me, what is your what do you actually type into Google? What do you actually type? Do you just type moon door, enter, or do you give any
Oh
qualifiers?
no, I will be cleverer than that. I'll type in moon door conspiracies ?
Moon door conspiracies. All right.
Ooh, moon doors are cute. I want one in my garden.
I'm gonna let's get the mechanics rolling. I will give that a difficulty rating of 2.
Ah.
So you basically need to roll over. You need to roll a 5 or a 6 twice. You have 1 dice in your hand as standard. You will definitely get a 2 because you're tech savvy. Am I right? You've got a skill that says you're techie in some way.
I've got a skill that says I'm esports. I don't know if I can bring that into tech.
Does that? All right. Yeah. I don't think
My
that does apply.
mother would count that as being techie.
Yeah.
True, and well, Gin and perhaps your GM as well are quite behind on tech, but I'm not sure that's really accurate. So I think you got 1. I don't think esports is going to allow you to refine your Google search better. So I'll give you 1 dice, which you're welcome to roll. You can either get your friends to help you, or if you want to, you can add a stress dice voluntarily.
May I volunteer? I am good. Asuna is good with local history, so she can add some insights as to I think like this place used to be known as like,
Okie dokie.
the Moon Ward or something like that. I don't know.
Yep. So what I'll do for that is you can roll your standard dice, Peter, and then Jacob, I'm going to get you to roll 2. Your standard one and your 1 for local history. So you roll 2, you roll 1, and if 2 of you roll over, well, tell me what you get. Let's go from there.
I rolled a 3.
You rolled a 3. That is just nothing. No good.
I did also not roll. I did not get any successes.
Oh no.
Cool. Well, both of you will add a stress dice. Yeah, if you attempt an action, but none of your dice show 5 or more, I think that's collectively. So if either of you rolled a 5, you would have been fine. You will add a red stress dice to your pool. I'm going to take this as... This is a bit... I'm not sure if this is entirely accurate, but I'm going to take this as the implication of the rules, that it was Peter's roll and Jacob, you were assisting.
Yep.
So therefore, I'm going to say, Peter, just note it that you now have a stress dice you will roll, which can be a benefit and a negative.
I now have a stress dice.
So basically... Sorry, go on.
I was about to say, I like the idea of, like, I Google something on my phone, I fail at Googling and immediately become octopus.
So narrative-wise, basically what's happened there is that you've tried to Google the moon door, you've kind of got a bit tangled up in kind of all of your various tabs, and then the internet connection in this park's not the best, and it's kind of bummed you out a bit. So that's kind of what's happened. It's still at a challenge rating of 2. If you want to pursue it later, it remains at 2, but you can also just leave it. You're not obliged to continue rolling.
Yeah,
Can I give it a go?
Yeah, go for it.
And you may try the same
I'm not the
thing,
DM.
and it'll be 2, or you can try something
No, I'm
completely
going to
different.
see if I have any pre-existing knowledge about moon doors from my sheer amount of reading and love of literature.
I'm going to give you a challenge rating of 1 for that. So roll a dice. All you need is a 5 or a 6.
Okay. Do I get to have 2 dice because I get to use my reading and or my love of literature?
Absolutely do.
Do I get to use 3 dice because I have both?
What is that? So reading and...
Literature.
Being a person.
Yes, you get 3.
Hell yeah. 3 dice. Okay.
Nice.
Need
Good
to get
blagging.
1 of these.
You can do it.
We believe in you.
Yay! 1, 3, 5.
Yep, so you get the 1 doesn't matter because it's not a stress dice. And the 5 means that you clear it. So that is fine. No stress dice added. You are totally chill.
I'm so chill.
Yeah. And so, Kaho, basically you rack your brains. And you are aware that the moon door itself doesn't really ring a bell to you. But you do know that once upon a time, in the olden days, there was a castle that used to stand right about where you're standing now. This area is very historic. And there was a castle that was called Twilight Castle. And you wonder if perhaps there's some kind of folk tie-in there between moon, night, and the old castle that used to stand on these grounds.
Do you reckon there might be something to do with the moon and night and the castle called Twilight Castle that used to stand on these grounds?
Ooh, that's a shout.
Used to be a castle.
Twilight Castle, yes, I remember that. That was a very long time ago.
Were you here in this pond?
You're a very old fish.
How long has this pond been here, Gin-san?
This pond has been untouched as long as I've been here, and I came here on a Portuguese... I'm riffing the fuck off now, I cannot plan this. I came
Me
here
just like
from
Googling
Wales.
how long do goldfish live?
I came here on a
but he's a
Portuguese
henge.
ship. I was one in a carnival, you see, on a Portuguese ship that stops in Cardiff in the year 1425. And then I was taken on a Portuguese trading ship during the reign of the Dates, when they controlled all of Japan. And then, of course, during the isolation period, I was put in this pond, and I've been here ever since with a succession of Dans. His entire history of family has been here protecting this pond.
Has he always been called Dan?
Every generation is called Dan.
I can hear a thesis being written right now.
That's the only way I can think of with my limited knowledge of Japanese history about how a goldfish from Cardiff could have ended up here at the time there would have been a castle.
Right, we've got
every generation is born a Dan.
We now have a bit of information at Twilight Castle, where local knowledge.
Yep.
Hello there, Asuna. Do you happen to know where this would be, or is there just a car? Do we look to our right and it's like, oh, there's a bloody castle?
So
I imagine it'll be long ruined.
So you don't need to roll for that. You don't need to roll
You
for
and I
that.
might have explored the ruins.
Didn't you just say it's like where we're standing, pretty much?
Pretty much. I'll give it to you for free because there's no way that Asuna wouldn't know this. Wouldn't know if there was a castle knocking around. So the castle itself is long gone. But basically, your school and the surrounding park is kind of built on top of the foundations of this old castle. You don't know exactly when, but there's definitely been buildings in between. The castle has not been here for hundreds of years.
Okay,
So
cool.
here's the question: have Asuna and Akane managed to get down into the foundations and the ruins and the cellars and do some art and some exploring?
So there's always been a rumor around the school, scuttlebutt around the school has always said that there's some creepy unexplored. Every school has that ghost story, right? And Mitsunari Academy is no different. That people say if you open the right broom cupboard, or if you go to the right kind of classroom that nobody uses, you can find stairs that go down into the dungeons of the castle, and they're still there. You have looked, you've never found it. It would require more research and more looking around. But you're definitely aware of that local legend.
Also, are there any special... What date is 3 days from now?
3 days from
is
now
there is there a festival or some kind of this is a general question out to the rest of the group as well.
Is it a full moon? Is it a
is it a special day?
Is it a blue moon?
It will be.
There is a moon-related festival in September.
Ooh.
So that's convenient.
Let me see if I can remember. I celebrated it. I can't remember what it's called though.
I don't want to kind of pinch a festival that I don't know anything about, so I'm gonna.
That is fair.
I'm just gonna say that it is a full moon. It is a Friday in 3 days' time, and it will be a full moon, and that's about the only real special thing I can think of. I mean, of course, you've got all of your business at school, haven't you? You've got the culture fair that's happening Friday as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That's to celebrate the full moon, and I'll be dancing during it.
Yes, well, there is a culture of all kinds. It's a very big... I don't know why I'm telling you this, because I'm not a student of the school, but, well...
We have been trying to work out if we can put you in a bowl and sneak you in to watch.
I think I'm a bit too old for goldfish. Fishbowls, even.
I think we should let... I think we should let him to his pond and his prophetic pond.
Yes, come down. So at this point, unless anyone... Last chance, if you want to do anything. You can always come back to Gin. This is not like Gin gone from the game. He's still going to be here if you need to come back. But if anyone wants to chat to him, now's your last chance for a sec.
Gin-san, are you expecting us to do anything before Friday?
Well, Kaiju Girls, I think it would be of vital importance that you try and find out what this moon door is and what happens when it opens, because... Well, to be honest with you, all of these prophecies that I've had have led to quite a lot of bother. And so it's probably best that we get on top of it now, because I can't imagine it's going to be all roses and confetti when this moon door does open.
Okay.
Yes, we're still
More
dealing with the
homework
honey
for
from
Friday.
Queen Bee.
In the meantime, are there anything, I don't know, is it worth you going back through other prophecies and see if you can find
Other
some
pebbles.
associations or anything like that? Or what future prophecies beyond this might tell you?
Oh, now that's a bloody good idea, that. Dan, fetch all of my pebbles.
We don't have any,
and so
we don't
Dan
have
the
any
koi
future
carp.
prophecies, Asuna. This is the last prophecy.
Well, Dan comes back with like an armful of, or fins full of pebbles.
Do we know that it's the last prophecy? That was...
He told you. He told you.
He just said,
this is the last one
okay.
I've got. Like, unless I can find any more.
Oh, of course.
Yes, but I'm absolutely. That's a great idea. And your name is Asuna. Yes, I'll get it. Yes,
Sooner the
Asuna. That's a
better.
great idea. I will Asuna even. I will look at these prophecies. I will look back, and if I can find any patterns or any mention of moons or twilight or anything like that, and you can come back to me tomorrow, and I will let you know. But I think somebody is coming over there, and he ducks down into the pond, and so you guys.
It's getting like that elderly uncle who just can't remember any of our names, who looks at us and goes,
I feel like
Akane.
he's like that is the GM
Joe,
cocking up, but he's going to
Akane.
cover it by saying he's an elderly, doddery old goldfish.
I mean,
doesn't really know what's
the
going on.
implication also is that we're like 7th generation Kaiju girls. Like, there's been others before us with how long
like
we've been
he
here
keeps
in
calling you the
numbers.
wrong names. Like,
Oh, I like that, yeah.
Yumi.
But anyway, you guys look up and you see a figure is kind of storming towards you from the school across the park. And you guys recognize this figure as Miss Yoshida, who is the Japanese literature teacher. And she's a bit of a dragon. She's
I
quite
love her.
fond of
Right.
Kaho. She doesn't like the rest of you very much.
Matt,
Say
Matt,
Kaho.
because of this game,
Kaho,
can I just
short
check?
ah.
Yes?
Not literally.
Do not call her a
dragon, right?
Kaho.
She's not. Yeah, she's not literally a dragon. She is just. Imagine a bit like I'm trying to think of a reference. She's firm. She's not mean, but she's firm. Like
Oh, I had a teacher like that,
McGonagall.
literature teacher. Miss
Professor
Braddock, if you're
McGonagall.
listening, you're amazing.
yeah, it's like kind of you don't hate her necessarily, but she definitely plays favorites. She's kind of unmarried in her 50s. And you imagine she lives for the culture fair. Like that seems to be the most important thing in her life. And she comes storming over, and she's like, "Students, what are you doing over here at this time? You should be in class any moment, not gallivanting around. Oh, hello, Watanabe. How are you doing?"
Hello, miss. Don't worry. We're on our way to class now. We were just talking to the goldfish.
There's
That's
an
lovely,
asuna,
dear.
There is an asuna-shaped cloud of dust the moment she opens her mouth.
Where's that deadbeat Ayase? Where is she?
Already gone.
Yeah,
I am
so you guys should be in
terrified of
class
her.
at moment. Now, Watanabe, I suppose you'll be wanting to work on your culture fair exhibit.
Oh,
won't you?
yes.
And as for the rest of you, you should probably be in gym class unless you have somewhere else to be. Hint, if anyone wants to head off in a particular place.
I
the GM
will.
will accommodate. Like,
I will stay by my friend Watanabe. Oh, not out of a love for Japanese literature, but out of a love for being thoroughly not in the limelight. Standing quite standing next to the limelight, very much enjoying the sort of glow.
very well. Right, so you're going to go to go to work on the culture fair exhibit.
I'll help out.
Nice.
I think
Yeah.
I have rehearsal for ballet because I'm a
Yes,
all
you
about
do.
that ballet. With
Ito,
Joe, of course.
you already ought to be in the gym hall at once. Gym class is happening, but I assume you'll be working on your ballet, which needs to be prim and proper for Friday's celebration.
Yes, of course, we have a wonderful pas de deux planned.
Akane,
And
I'll
when
come
you get
with
over
and
there,
hold
if
your
you see
shoes.
Mr. Oh, you're going to go and hold the shoes.
Yeah, I've got the shoes.
I just tried to make
I'm very much
something up.
seeing the way that this school treats ballet as how most schools in America treat like American football.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
they're known for their ballet. This school, weirdly.
I'll be
fair,
like
they do
there
take
at
it
the side
pretty
with a little
seriously
tray
in
of
Japan.
chalk or something.
Yeah, I feel like when there is like a particular ballet recital, like some kids turn up and cheer, like, and they have like
Yeah.
the school flags. Like,
We have like cheerleaders for the ballet.
I love it.
they're all like blokes in hockey outfits. Right, and so Miss Yoshida is like, "Yep, that's very good. Get back. You should be rushing." And where is that Ayase? Where is she gone?
I am desperately parkouring my way towards the gym.
I'm going to give you a challenge rating of 1 for that. I don't want to get it too difficult early in the game, but roll me. You can roll 2 dice because I'm assuming you're good at all the athletics. That's one of your skills, isn't it?
But
And
one
you've
of
got
them's going to be a
standard.
stress dice, isn't it?
I think it's actually Peter who has the stress
Peter.
dice.
Oh, it's Peter has stress
I
dice.
have the
You're
stress dice.
Darn
still
it, no
unstressed.
kaiju yet.
Despite the appearance of Miss Yoshida, you're not completely stressed.
I'm going to add. I'm going to add a stress dice.
Yep, you may voluntarily add a stress dice.
Because Miss Yoshida
Just for fun.
fucking terrifies me.
Yeah, I feel like of all the students, she has particularly got it in for you.
Oh,
Like she
yeah.
thinks you're a deadbeat. Like,
Okay, that is the stress gave me success. Look at that.
successful stress. Right, yeah, you do that thing where you duck behind the tree, you make a rustling noise, she checks out the tree, but while she's doing that, you dash off in the other direction, parkour your way,
Classic.
anime style, you do a flip over the school gates and you're off and you're in. Are you heading anywhere in particular, Asuna?
Yeah, I'm headed to the gym on the way. Because Akane or Akane.
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 We've established that we.
When in doubt, make the vowels short.
Yep.
Akane.
Where we already established that we have we did a preliminary search of the school looking for the rumoured secret passage
Yeah, the
earlier
dungeons.
at some point in the distant past.
Yeah, you've done it several times, and
Yeah,
you've got to points where you're like, I wonder if it's here. Yeah.
I want to do just a quick check-in on wherever our last trail turned cold. Just as a kind of, still there, not any kind of, Durin's door suddenly cropped up.
Yeah, okay, so what I'll give you for that is that several years ago, you and Akane, you kind of managed to stumble across a book that told you about the history of this area, and it had a picture of the castle, and you think you worked out, but you're still not 100%, that the castle, the main bit of the castle, sat on the south side of the school premises. So you reckon you've ruled out all the newer buildings in the school, like the main schoolhouse, and you think if there's any kind of stuff to be found, it's in the older buildings, which is like the changing rooms and the sports hall, the gym, the science lab, those kind of ones, rather than the main classrooms. You're pretty sure you've eliminated the classrooms area. So what you'll do is you'll kind of just go, and as you're running through on your way to the gym, you kind of keep your eyes peeled for anything, and you see nothing new. Nothing jumps out at you. Nothing's glowing with a moon symbol or anything like that.
Damn it.
Okie dokie. But also, as you guys, I'm just giving you all the plot. As you guys enter the school, you guys notice, and it seems a little bit strange to you, you notice that today there appear to be a couple of soldiers on guard outside the school, like soldiers in uniform holding guns. Ooh. And they're not blocking you, they're letting you in. But there's 2 soldiers just appear to be standing guard at the school gates.
Oh,
that's going to be a big fucking deal because Japan's almost completely
Yeah,
demilitarized.
Yes, that's true.
That's very weird.
It is very weird indeed. You guys certainly notice this as strange.
They've seen my latest frag reel. They've they know I'm clearly a threat.
Yep, and the 2 of them don't give you any trouble. They're just kind of standing there, kind of as if on guard.
Huh.
I stare at them as I rubberneck the whole way.
Akane, don't stare at them. That might be considered a threat in their language.
They're not octopuses.
I didn't say that's what octopuses consider a threat.
Also,
How can an octopus stare anyway? They don't have enough eyes.
they literally have
only
2
need
eyes.
one
You
eye
only need
to
one
stare.
They
eye
have too many eyes. I
You-
get confused
you
by
only
octopi.
you only need 1 eye to stare, you clown. This is
That can't be true.
Okie dokie. So you guys move into the school. Where should we go first? Shall we go to the culture fair first?
Oh yeah, let's please. Let's
So the
go.
other 3. So
Hey.
if I've got it right, 2 of you are going to the culture fair, and
Me
3
and
of you are going to
Kaneko.
the... Yep.
Hello.
Kaneko and Kaho are going to the culture fair, and the rest of you are going to the gym. Have I got that right?
Yeah.
Caho.
Hello.
Kaho
Please.
and- What?
Oh, I'm going. Hang on.
Kaho, not
Kaho.
I-
Kaho.
Sorry.
Please stop calling me a Kaho. Please.
really like cars.
I know people with this name.
Oh.
Kaho. I apologise. Kaho. So you guys are going to head over to what is your Culture Fair project, Kaho?
My Culture Fair project is on the Tales of Genki. And it is a reinterpretation from a woman's view.
Ooh. Very, very nice. And so what does that involve? Like, what have you got? Where do you need to go in the school to work on it? Is it like,
I think I've got...
recite it? Are you going to...
Yeah, no, the Tales of Genki is very big.
Nice. But I mean, like, have you got what is your actual
Oh,
contribution
yeah,
to
well,
what
you know
format does it
how
take?
when you have those big poster boards
Yep.
and you've written on it, like, you know, all of your information, you've got pictures, like, stuck on, and, you know, it's all organised and colour-coded. She's made one of those. So she'll need to go to probably the library to finish it up.
Yep, we can do that. So you go to the library. You and Kaneko go to the library. Which is quite a...
I'm
You're just
following
along for the ride.
Yeah, I'm following. I've got my phone out on 4G. Occasionally, I say something. I imagine I say something, and Kaho kind of like vaguely agrees, even though they have no idea what I'm going on about. They just
When you say from a woman's point of view, wasn't the Tale of Genki written by a woman?
Yes, I'm glad you knew that.
Yeah.
That was like great, and I was like, you don't get it.
I'm sorry.
I had to
I'm
get
sorry.
my joke because I thought I knew that, and I was like, but yeah, because it wasn't like one of the first books ever written. It was written by a woman.
It's one of the first
Sorry,
novels.
Helen.
Ladies.
That's a very good fact. I did not know that,
Yeah.
but I'm
I
glad
did
I
know
now
that.
do.
Thanks, Luke.
Ladies, we invented literature, baby.
educating you not only in the RPG space, but in the real space.
Yeah, that's very much a teachable moment.
Welcome to Lukey and Helen.
We don't get points for that in this game, do we, though?
No, you don't, but it's appreciated.
Tape it to your ears, listeners. Tape it to your ears
So-
with duct tape and learning.
So Kaho and Kaneko, you arrive at the library. It's a pretty big, spacious library. The school is well funded. It's also got a bit, if this is relevant for you, Kaneko, it has an IT suite as well with a couple of computers if you need them, and kind of research resources. You guys go. The librarian, whose name is Mr. Saito, is there, and he's got a desk where you've got your Culture Fair project up, and he's taken good care of it for you, and he kind of directs you to it. So you can start working on that and just kind of putting some effort in.
I will definitely help out. I am assisting in other ways because I also need to get the brain's too full of patch notes and increasing numbers by 20 and 30%. So I'm just going to help out with this.
All right. Okay. So
I feel like it's a case of like, you know, I'll be standing there telling you, oh, hold this, put this here, and just passing you things, and with one hand you've got your phone and you're just like frantically typing away, and with the other hand you're just holding whatever I tell you to hold.
Yeah, basically.
So-
Literature version of the spanner holder.
And so I think I understand the mechanics of the game correct. And so in order to complete your Culture Fair project, I'm going to give that a difficulty of 6. Ooh. So you don't have to do it in one go. I think this is the point of the mechanics. Over the course of our playthrough, you've got to roll 5 or 6s to complete your Culture Fair project. Okay. You don't have to do it right this second. You can roll now, you can wait, you can bring friends back later. So that's kind of... So your difficulty to finish it to your satisfaction is 6.
Okay.
And you can work on it now, or you can just kind of be tinkering and waiting. And
I think right now we are working on getting the pictures on, which is why I have my glue stick holder of, I was about to say of Doom, of Celebration. Kaneko is the glue stick holder of Celebration.
That is your title.
Why do they turn the alt? Why do they reduce the alt timing by 3 seconds? Who asked for that? What sort of absolute moron? Yes, the Pritt stick. The Pritt stick. I can give you the Pritt stick.
Thanks.
Excuse me. Could you keep it down? Some of us are trying to work.
Sorry, Mr. Saito.
Mr. Saito is actually sat at his desk. That wasn't Mr. Saito.
Oh, darn it.
Mr. Saito is. What? Mr. Saito sounds like this. He's kind of.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I didn't say that because I know the library well enough.
Sort of voice. He's sitting reading a book and he's very satisfied with it.
So that's Mr. Saito. But that's not who spoke, and we may never speak again.
No, we
So
like
the
him.
person who spoke, you look over, and you see there's a schoolgirl, much the same age as you, with little round spectacles, and she is working on what looks
I have
to
little
be...
round spectacles.
So does she. And she is working on what looks like some kind of... It's like a big brass contraption. It's got a big kind of boiler-shaped thing. And there's all sorts of little kind of gears coming off of it. And she is just busying herself with like a spanner and a little book of plans, kind of tinkering with it. She's like, some of us are trying to work, actually. And you recognize this as Nozomi Takase, who is your rival at school. This is... you believe she has based her personality off of you. And
I mean, clearly, do you see the glasses?
yeah, like, you believe she is very much, like, just trying to be you. And she is building what looks like a working steam engine.
In the library, not in the tech rooms. In the library.
in the library.
No, it only looks like a working steam engine. It's in fact a broken steam engine at the moment, which is why it's allowed in the library.
Yeah. Does she somehow always have the same hairstyle as?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
it's uncanny.
Tahoe.
Like somehow, like, you'll come into school with a new hairstyle, and Nozomi will already be there with the same hairstyle, flashing it off and be like, "Look at my new hair. This is fantastic." Like she's one of these people who seems to be ahead of you at every turn, and you hate it. She's like, "Yeah, can you keep it down, please? Some of us are trying to finish our culture fair projects."
The phone immediately
Sorry,
goes
Nozomi.
away. Yeah.
I know it must be difficult for you.
Ooh.
Difficult? What would be difficult for me?
Well, you know, if you can't even put up with other people working in the same room with you, I don't know how you expect to be able to finish your culture fair project.
Well, I put up with it. You see, I will be finishing my culture fair project on my own without help. And she looks at Kaneko as if like, clearly you need somebody to hold your Pritt stick for you, Kaho.
Yes, it is such a shame that none of your friends could be here. Oh, wait.
I do not need friends, Kaho, for I have
Of
my
course
twin
you
brother.
Don't.
Oh my God. I haven't witnessed
She-
this kind of thing since I left my girls' school.
She has no response to that, but what she does do is she kind of she pulls a little lever on the steam engine and it goes beep, beep. And that's kind of her response to you. As if to be like, well, at least my machine is working and operational.
I'm just going to point at it and say, is it a self-portrait?
Full of hot air, doesn't work.
She sees and she looks at you and she's just like, well, I suppose what you're creating appears to be some pieces of paper. I didn't realise you were still in kindergarten.
I didn't realise you never learnt to read.
You're ugly and you stink.
What Kaneko said.
That is it! That is it! I demand you leave this corner of the library at once. I was here first.
Can't you leave on your own? You've built yourself a bloody train.
It doesn't have
Chugga,
wheels,
chugga, choo, choo,
numbskull.
out of here.
It is designed to be a multi-purpose engine, not a steam train. You would know this, of course, if you had read anything.
I don't think you've built it right. I think you meant to have wheels on the front of it.
I know exactly how to build it.
Well, no,
Actually-
you haven't. It doesn't have wheels on the front of it.
It's
tell
not
me
a
how to build my
train
own
if it
steam
hasn't
engine.
got wheels.
It doesn't have wheels. I think it needs wheels. I think you really need to put some wheels on. I get 2 big ones.
Does no difference between an engine and a train.
She huffs, and then she's going to storm out. And she's like, I will
And
be back.
somehow now we are the bullies.
Yeah, somehow I didn't expect you to freaking lean into this so hard.
No, this is just teenage girl shit.
Yep, standard. I was not ready for the viciousness of teenage girls.
I've dealt with stuff like this. People are like, oh, you're a girl, you can't play the game, and then you absolutely turn them into mince and jelly. Do you want a Pritt stick?
Oh, thanks.
Have you been eating the Pritt stick?
No.
It did sound like
Did
that.
sound
Can I
like you were
interest
offering her a
Can I
snack.
have you?
It sounded a bit like
Want a bite?
Well,
I replied. I replied like it was a snack too. I was like, oh yeah.
Mr. Saito's like,
You shouldn't smell it. It'll do terrible things to you. Trust me.
Fair.
I'm only 24 years old. Listen
I'm
to
a-
my voice.
I'm a grad student. And look at me. Look at me.
this has gone so off piece. Okay. We're gonna-
Really?
No, it's fine.
We
are gonna.
I now have an enemy I must defeat. I will be using all of my ability to help you in this. This has become my mission.
Yes.
Do you want to go for a little friendship like hand clasp or like a respect or something?
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah, our secret handshake.
Yep.
Do we have a Kaiju Club handshake?
Adds to your. I'll give you an extra dice if you use your handshake for some rules in the future. Not for every single one, but sometimes I'll give you a bonus if you do the friendship handshake. Meanwhile, you guys are sat there in the library, pleasantly working on your culture fair exhibit. Nozomi has stormed off.
So pleasantly.
So pleasant now that she's chugga-chugga-choo-chooed her way out the library.
Chugga-chugga-choo-choo. She's gone to get some wheels. That's what she's done. Meanwhile, at the gymnasium.
Yes.
So the gymnasium is a big building, which has got like what you'd expect of a high school gymnasium. But the only change is that this one has a stage at the end of it that is rather like nice. It's clearly been funded by a rich parent at some point, and this is the ballet stage. And so you guys arrive, and there's lots of kids kind of doing various different kinds of gym class. Like some of them are doing like athletics, or some of them there's a game of basketball going on. But of course, on the stage is the ballet class. So where's everybody going?
I'm gonna follow Akane and literally just try and blend in, so I don't have to do any physical activity myself. But maybe can be useful and like literally
stand in on the ballet class.
Yeah, just like be at the outskirts. Like, do you need a towel? Like,
yeah.
How about
so I assume you're just wearing your regular outfit. You've not changed into.
No, I'm in my like school uniform. I'm not in gym clothes. Yeah, no.
Cool. Noted.
I have also I'm around as well. Making myself useful, but I have an eye on. Would it be too stereotypical to claim there's some kind of a kendo class going on?
There could be a kendo class. So what there's
directed at Helen mostly. Is that a kind of thing that's integrated that would be integrated into a standard?
Probably not in your standard gym class. Like, there might be a kendo
this one
club.
has ballet.
But then again, this school does have ballet as its like a number one thing, so why not go for it?
Okay, so what I'll allow
kendo
you
going at the same time as ballet.
What I'll allow you, is that like in the far corner there are a couple of the slightly heftier members of your peer group, like some lads and some lasses who are kind of a bit more martial than the others, and there's about 6 of them having a go with the kendo sticks and making more noise than everyone else.
So you get to choose, in this school for physical activity, you get to choose between ballet and kendo.
Incidentally, they are taught by the same teacher.
Yes.
Like, Mr. Hattori is going between the two of them.
Amazing.
Hattori.
Mr. Hattori is going between the kendo class, and he's like, yes, that's very lift a little bit. You must use grace. And poise if you wish to use kendo. And then he goes over to the ballet class and he's like, come on, do it!
That's very accurate
called that
for ballet, I'm not going to lie.
That's very accurate for kendo.
Yeah. You must use grace, you must poise. Get your legs up!
When you initially said kendo, I just assumed that was another himbo. This is...
There is a
So
guy
many
called Ken
himbos.
playing kendo, but that's completely irrelevant.
Yeah, okay.
He's just a fairly friendly member of your peer group.
Presumably this school has, like that stereotypical Japanese schoolgirl uniform.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
assuming the uniforms are relatively stereotypical on both genders.
Sailor Fuku.
Oh, Selifuki. So presumably we're in something like that.
Yeah, like
That's
unless you want to
awesome.
specify otherwise. You've arrived at gym class. I'll allow you time to get changed if you want it.
So I'm going to say we have, like, for ballet, we have practice leotards and rehearsal tutus that we put on, and the tutus have the same pattern as our schoolgirl skirts.
Yeah, it's
my
like they're clearly made
They're
with
like
the same
plaid.
pattern. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. It's terrible looking.
And I'm going to say we have blue leotards on. So Akane went into the dressing room before, and she has carefully put her hair into her rehearsal bun. There is nary a hair out of place. It is smooth. You could see your reflection in the top of her head. It is perfect. She has put on her shoes. They are tied up to perfection.
Aiko, can you confirm she is fully dressed and not a hair is out of place?
Yes, I can. You look great.
I mean, you're the friend who's on standby, so I'm like, well, this is your job to check. Like, really.
I'm just imagining another student saying, is she looking good? And I'm like, yes, she is.
You're thinking about octopus facts again, aren't you?
No,
While
I wasn't.
Kaneko was holding Prit sticks, you were holding hairpins.
Yeah,
By
and I was just like
contrast-
randomly saying, like, did you know the Great Pacific Octopus can get nearly 5 meters long? And you're like, that's nice. Another one at the front, I think.
By contrast, Asuna uses the what's that kind of like shawl tie around thing that you have on the set? In
A bandana.
no, the like on the Kaiju Girls illustration, there's a drawing of that schoolgirl uniform, and it has that kind of thing you wear over your shoulders that you tie.
Thing.
Oh,
mean
the
a
little
neckerchief?
yeah, like the neckerchief.
The
thing.
neckerchief.
The neckerchief. Okay, yeah, she uses that she uses that to towel off between bouts. She is not. She could be very grotty when she needs to be.
But she still just kept that piece of her uniform. Cool. So you're toughing it out. We'll go to you in a minute. But first, we're going to go to the ballet class. And so Asuna, you rock up, and Mr. Hattori is there, and he is yelling at the most beautiful boy you have ever seen.
Did you mean to say Akane and not Asuna?
Well, sorry, not Asuna, Akane. Yeah, I apologise.
Why were your A names?
Most
Because we didn't go
God
very far
damn
down
it!
the list, did we? That's why we googled
The
names.
most
I'm
beautiful,
sorry, I made the
beautiful-
list alphabetic.
Okay, so
I
like
didn't. I
scratch
just
that,
gave random
scratch
names.
it.
No excuse.
My character is named after a real ballet dancer.
Akane.
So
Akane, you arrive on stage in your ballet outfit.
pristine ballet.
Yeah,
ballet
pristine,
rehearsal
not
gear.
nary a hair out of place. And you
Yes.
see that Mr. Hattori is talking to the most beautiful boy you have ever seen. Now he is there. He is kind of very, very lean in that way that kind of a relatively physically fit teenager is. And he's got kind of large lips and kind of glistening eyes that kind of look very, very... You can lose yourself in these eyes.
A lot like our goldfish sensei.
He also sounds like he's got like a horrible eye disease with his glistening eyes.
No, like you
he
look at
cries a
him
lot,
and you
you
kind
know?
of hear the
He's
swell
just
of strings in the back.
He's just put his
And then you're like, oh wait, there are
lenses on
strings. This
wrong.
is a ballet class.
Oh yeah, you notice that like the strings are from like the string quartet is also practicing for the culture fair in the corner. But for a minute you thought that was the strings of your heart. This is Joe Biden, who is also playing ballet. Playing ballet?
Playing
Doing
ballet.
Playing
Wow,
ballet.
We are like, the male and female lead of this.
Yeah, so
school
you're
ballet company.
doing an adaptation of.
Do you need some help?
Swan
Beg
Lake.
pardon? Well, I
Do you
was
need
thought
some
Swan
help
Lake. I
naming
thought I
a
could do
ballet?
something more fun,
I would then go for.
like maybe something that's not a real ballet that has a male. and
Oh
a
yeah.
female.
We're doing the Tale of Genki, the ballet.
I'd love to, but I don't know it well enough to riff on it.
Okay. We're
Pigeon
Oh,
Pond.
sorry. You're doing the Tale of the Twilight Castle.
We're
Yeah.
doing
His
the
face.
tale.
We're doing the Tale of
That
the
is
Twilight
fantastic.
Castle.
Oh,
yeah, so
Helen,
Mr.
genius.
Hattori.
has written this
Mr.
himself.
Hattori, rather, is like, he's yelling at Joe Biden. He's like, no, you need to, if you're going to be the king at Twilight Castle, you need to get your legs up, son. Come on! Work! Do
You
it!
have to do these jumps.
Up!
These
Up,
coupe jetés
boy!
will not carry themselves, young man.
And then Joe is just kind of like, what? Like, kind of like this. And then I get my hands in the air like that. No, you fool! First you have to do the spin, then the arms in the air, then plie, then arms in the air again. God, do I have to do everything myself?
Oh, poor Joe.
Akane, at last. We have been waiting for the Queen of Moonlight.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Hattori. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
He does that thing that all kind of dance instructors do where he kind of goes, claps his hands, he's like, right, from the top, we go again. And if any one of you puts a foot out of place, I will personally... I just don't do it. And so he kind of claps his hands and then kind of just points at the string quartet and is just like, play! And so the string quartet starts to kind of play this kind of very sweeping piece of music. And Joe kind of stands there looking gormless, waiting for you.
No, he knows how
you
to ballet.
he has
good
like
at
resting dumb face. Like,
Aww.
He kind of feels around like he wants to check his phone and then remembers that he's wearing a leotard and he doesn't have his phone.
It'd be pretty obvious if he did.
Yep. And so
I do blush at the sight of him in the leotard.
So to successfully pull off this dance, I'm going to give it a challenge rating of 3.
Okay. So presumably I have a die because ballet's my thing.
Well, you have a die anyway, then you have another die because
Yeah.
ballet is your thing.
Would I
Can
have
I
another
help?
one because
You may help, so I will allow you to use your standard dice if you want to bit below it as like encouragement or something like that.
Yeah, I think I'll
So
just.
how does that work again? What?
So what you need to do,
I'll tell you an inspiring octopus fact, and then I get to roll.
be like the blue ring.
So can I see if I've got a hang of how it works?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So with the helping out, you both roll your pools, but it just means that between you, one of you needs to get 5 or over.
Correct.
Okay.
And
So it
if
just
you
means there's
fail, the
more
consequences
dice.
fall on the original person, so it would fall on
Okay.
Akane in this case.
Cool.
Can I have another die because I do art and ballet is a form of art?
Go on then.
Yeah.
Oh, kind of
So I
benevolent.
need to get a 5 or above.
Yeah, so you need to get 5 or above, and you need to do that 3 times, right?
All right.
Okay.
I don't think I have any expertise in this, so I'm just rolling. Well, I'm talking about octopuses, but I don't think that's particularly
I would
inspiring.
like,
Okay.
May I would like
Yep.
to volunteer assistance as well.
You may. You may.
Specifically by doing a kendo drill at to the same rhythm as the string
Oh,
quartet.
yeah.
So it's a
Alright.
metronome.
Nice.
Yep,
Yes.
that's great. Yep. So you will roll
I'll roll
1.
2.
I think I'll give you 1 just because you're only helping out. Like I think
Okay,
I'll
sure.
allow you that athletics.
Okay. So I just rolled a 1, and I know exactly what happens. So when I try and think of something really inspiring, I just go, Akane, did you know the male octopus's 3rd arm is actually for mating? And then this is right when you're staring at, like, Joe in a leotard, and you're like, oh, God.
Right when I'm in the lift that they
Yep.
do where he lifts you up and your head is kind of near his crotch.
Yes,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
at that
you know,
moment-
the 3rd arm?
I
That's
got
for
I got
sex.
2 6s and a 3.
2
I got-
6s and a 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means
got
you don't
two
get any
sixes.
stress dice because you rolled at least 1 success. So you
Yay.
so you are in the middle of the dance, and it is going relatively well. You'll still need another success in a moment to pull off the dance, but you've got 2 out of 3. And Mr. Hattori has not yelled "Stop!" So you're doing well because often he
loves
does.
me.
So Akane, you find yourself in that moment where you are kind of cheek to cheek as he's holding you, and you have a moment to look lovingly into his eyes. And if you want to say anything, now's the time. You don't have to, but like you have a fleeting moment.
I feel
Do you
like
giggle
she's
like
just-
that?
No,
Yes!
I think she's really, really awkward with him
Yeah.
all the time. Like, normally she's quite confident, but with him, she's just like, ooh. She just goes, point your toes.
What?
I'm gonna augment the system by rolling for Joe just as a naked roll. He's rolled 4. He does indeed point his toes, and it was a sound piece of advice. And
It
so,
normally is in ballet, to be fair.
yes, and so you roll across, and then as you're kind of going into the next bit of the dance, Mr. Hattori yells, "And remember, you're supposed to be portraying a cursed king, Joe. You must let the danger and the black magic flow through you before you're cast into the pit of peril."
Me, notes down. Danger, black magic, pit of peril.
And then Joe's like, yes, I'd forgotten about that. And so he kind of goes down. And he starts to kind of mime like he's kind of being sucked into the earth. Yet it's also graceful. He is a natural talent.
Yeah. And I'm doing these like wavy things around him. The corps de ballet are being very dramatic.
Mr. Hattori yells. He goes, "No, you're supposed to be cursing him, not waving your arms at him, girl. Go!"
Vindictive waving.
You wave
Witchy
vindictively.
things.
Do you want to
I'm
roll?
fully on point.
Do you want to do another round of rolls? See if you can finish the dance with grace and style.
That's 1 5, 1 4, and a 1.
That's
4,
all right.
1.
Like the 1 is fine because you rolled a 5 as well. So you successfully pull off this dance. And
Do the big finish.
you go for the big finish. You end
Huge
up kind of
lift.
suspended in the air in Joe's muscular arms. And the string quartet comes to an end. There's a smattering of applause from various people. It is good. It's one of your finer dances. He puts you down. Mr. Hattori is like, not bad. Could be better. By Friday it will be better. But my darlings, not bad at all.
Thank you, Mr. Hattori. Yes, I feel that I could really work on those piqué ménage a little. I definitely need to maybe lift my arms a little further as well during that first lift. Yes.
Yes, if your arms could be longer, that would definitely help.
I'll try.
He kind of pats you kind of down the arms, but yes, it's very like your arms are thin and that is fine, but there's no tone in this whatsoever. If you can work on this before Friday, that'd be fantastic.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir.
Stretch, girls, stretch constantly.
Constant stretching.
Just grow your arms by 20 feet. Just comes over from the corner.
Hang off of a branch for 8 hours a day.
I have been, sir.
Oh.
And then he goes over and he kind of like he does that kind of artsy thing of patting Joe kind of on kind of the shoulder. He's like, and Joe, you were magnificent. You were like fire. Yes, fantastic. You will be fine on Friday. All I command of you, boy, is to take care of yourself and your talent. Eat well and rest. Don't take any risks and don't do anything stupid. You understand?
No.
Was that you voicing Joe?
Yeah, no. Sorry.
That's all right. He's like, he's like, oh,
sounded like
right.
a pretty accurate impression to me.
Okay,
Yeah.
then. Okay.
That's my himbo voice.
Well, I've kind of gone. Somehow I've ended up at Noel Fielding. I don't know how.
You got kind of like gormless Cockney going on.
Hello. My name's Joe Barden, and I'm a ballet dancer.
So Mr. Hattori goes away, and there's a moment where you two are kind of left on stage, and Joe is just kind of standing there. He seems interested in the lights. He's just kind of looking at the lights, and he looks like he hasn't paid you much attention. And then he just kind of starts doing like a little kind of dance to himself, like he's just kind of warming himself down. If that makes any sense?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
I join in. I do some warming down.
He's like,
yes. Hello.
what's your name?
Why your voices are killing me today.
Voice? Why have you done
his
this
name
to
is Joe Biden, and he's hello.
The rest of him is too hot, Lukey. There has to be something about him that isn't.
I mean, I can do a hotter voice if you like, but I just thought it was funny.
I'm gonna have so much trouble with this voice.
Well, he takes a breath mint and he's like, that's better.
Oh my god.
Akane.
Okay, so when his
Sorry,
voice broke, it broke through the fucking cellar.
He's going through puberty. You can never tell if he's going to sound like this or if he's going to sound like this. It's going to be one or the
Oh my
other.
god.
It's either Hiddleston or Noel Fielding, and there's no
It often is. It's, you get a letter in the
That
post.
is always the answer to a question is always Hiddleston and Noel Fielding.
Yeah, he extends his hands to you as if to be like, would you like to do that last passage again? I feel could use a bit more work.
Oh yes, I think so. From those side by side jumps, I think would really
The what?
really help. The side by side jumps.
Oh, the up and downy bits. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
those bits, Joe.
Yes. That's fantastic. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 5.
No.
What?
5, 6,
Yes.
9, 10.
Sure.
Actually, Akane, I was going to ask you a question.
Yes.
So, I'm going to have to practice really hard, like really hard, for ballet on Friday, but therefore I have like a maths test tomorrow, and I'm like,
Oh no.
and I'm like, maths is just not my thing. There's
I
just
know.
no way I'm going to work at all. So I was wondering if you could like maybe help me pass my maths test.
Oh, of course I can. Would you like to study together?
Will that help?
It usually does. Yes.
Then yes.
When would you like to? When are you free?
I think we should study in the library at like He takes another breath mint.
Kind of like maybe after school. Like
Yes,
directly after school. How does that sound?
Yes, I'll meet you in the library when the final bell rings. Yes, maths is something I can do maths. I've done it before, and I will do it again.
Are you like
Almost certainly. She's
Aiko,
so
are you like
flustered
giving
by this
thumbs
man.
up from the sidelines?
Yeah, she absolutely.
All right. Okay. See you after school. And then he
I
just kind of
can't wait.
flutters away.
Yeah, he like goes up onto demi point and like.
Yeah, like I was going to ask, what's it called when the ballet dancer does that little tiptoe thing? He demi points away to the boys' changing room, followed by his boys.
You're like joke.
They're all
like
like in,
point.
Yeah, they're all ballet dancers as well, and they're just like joke.
Everybody hard till the squad turn up on Swan Lake.
So meanwhile, I want to quickly head over to Asuna.
Yep.
I'll get the hang of these names in the end. Asuna. So you're in the kendo circle.
Yep.
And you're doing a bit of kendo, and so Mr. Hattori, he heads over and he's like, right, and you must remember that you must be very, very graceful when you're doing kendo. You understand? We're going to do a display on Friday for part of the culture festival. All of the school governors will be there. It'll be fantastic. So I need you to be at your best. Show me what you got.
Cool. And who am I? Of course, who am I drilling with? But who steps up to drill with me? But of course, rival.
Yeah. So for a moment, it looked like your friend Ken, who you know socially, he's a cool guy, was going to step up with a big smile, like, oh, I'll go nice on you. We'll drill a bit. Then he gets shoved away by this boy who's like a good foot taller than most of the people in his class. He's like, he hit puberty like a freight train, this kid. He is big. And you know that this guy is, where is my name document? His name is Akira Takase. He is Nozomi Takase's twin brother. Yeah. The rivals are twins.
So we hate this whole family.
You hate the Takases. You have an ongoing rivalry with the Takase. You haven't known them that long. Like, they've kind of upset the balance this term by arriving. Like, you guys
everything was working perfectly fine until they came.
Yeah, and then they kind of, hence transfer student. They are Japanese, but they've kind of come in from bumfuck end of nowhere. You don't know where from, but then they've come in, and then she's winning like all of the science medals. She's like super intelligent and giving Kahu like a run for her money. And at the same time, Akira, the brother, is like super athletic. He doesn't get in on Joe Biden's territory, but like everything else, he's muscling in on. Like, he thinks ballet is for sissies. He's in a minority in this school, but he thinks ballet's shite. And yeah, he stands there with his kendo stick and he kind of flexes his muscles, and you hear like a rippling noise.
It's a shockwave.
Yeah, and he's gonna. I need to do another voice. And he's like, Akira says,
"You can have the dumb voice."
You're right. It's just a voice. You're right.
If it means I'm drilling you into the ground, always.
Oh my god!
You may want to rephrase that.
He looks down at you and he's just like,
as soon as
he got off guard by that. He wasn't expecting like a girl half his size to say that. Like,
I'm very thankful for the kendo mask all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's like, so he gets his kendo stick ready, and then he kind of pulls down his mask and he says, "Just because you're half my size, it doesn't mean I'm going to go easy on you."
This is so sexual.
Oh
this is so. What are you doing, guys?
Well, you know what they are.
Get Matt and
They
Peter.
are what they say.
Matt and Peter, Matt and Jacob.
Bigger they are, harder they fall.
Oh my god!
Right, let's do this fight. So in order to beat Akira, it's going to be a challenge rating of 3, same as the ballet.
Cool.
Ballet and kendo, similar challenge
Surprisingly
ratings.
similar, yeah.
Absolutely.
And so Mr. Hattori says, "Go!" And then Akira immediately comes at you with a swing across the head. Like, he plays like rough. He's just going to try and take you out straight away with a batter across the head.
Cool. I would like to. I'd like to say that immediately we go for each other, and this is not a drill of any kind that we're going for.
Yeah, it's like clearly he's not doing any kind of drill or step. He just wants to kind of knock you over, basically.
Yeah. I am responding by invoking some of my my like Urban X parkour training.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot of kind of dodging, ducking, dipping, diving, and dodging.
Yeah, and he basically it's David and Goliath. You're jumping around, and he's
Absolutely.
just like swinging his kendo stick, and Mr. Hattori is just like holding his face, being like, "No, that's not right at all. There's no grace in that."
I mean, he's right. It's not right at all. Clearly, neither of you have ever tried any form of kendo.
Yeah, he's just like, This is a joke. This is a joke. Roll your dice, please.
Yeah, so I was attempting to get both my athletics, dice from both my athletics and my urban exploration in there.
Yep, so I'll give you 3 dice.
Yep, fantastic.
Please roll them.
Oh, that was a complete wash.
Were there any 1s in that? Oh, wait, in fact, it doesn't matter, does it?
No,
so
no
you
stress
will add
dice.
A stress you will add a stress dice if there were no
Cool.
5s or 6s. So you are now a little bit stressed.
Yep.
If anybody is playing Innuendo Bingo, you have just drowned.
God, I missed that one.
So, Akira
No, you need a tempting
braces
for
himself for a moment and then comes at you with his stick.
Yep.
There we go.
We'll do one more round of it. Like, I'm going to give you one more round to beat him, and then I'm going to kind of move on with the scene.
Yeah,
Like,
I am going to add the stress die.
Yep. So you should be rolling 4 dice
Oh,
now.
Yep.
But now remember to separate the stress dice, because if
Yeah,
that
no,
stress dice
I've
comes
got
out as
a whole
1,
bunch of generic white dice as well as my fancy coloured
Yeah,
ones.
just
So
more for listeners' benefit. If that comes out as a 1, things are going to get interesting.
that was the
Because right up
once
till now,
again.
they've been
That
so
was the
boring.
one success.
Oh, the stress dice succeeded. Okay, so you've only got
Yay.
1 success so far. So what I will allow for that 1 success is that he comes at you, but you manage to block him and kind of do something in the region of kind of recovering a bit of a kendo routine pose. At which point, Mr. Hattori is going to come and he's going to be like, no, no, no. You look like a bunch of drunken bar fighters. And he basically dismisses you and says, Ken, come up here and show them how it's done. And so he gets Ken to come up, and so Akira is like lifts his mask and glares at you as if to be like, "This isn't over." Like you just wait till high jump.
Yeah, I will do like a formal bow and desist, but like as dismissively and passive aggressively as possible.
Yeah, like Akira does his best show of turning a bow into a middle finger. Like he finds the middle ground somewhere between those two gestures. Cool. Yeah. And so that is kind of where things are at. Did anyone want to do anything particular? Given we have 3 days until the moon door is open, did you guys want to do anything particular? I'm happy to allow it that you guys complete this day with doing the gym class, and then we'll go to the end of the day. Or if there's anything else you guys wanted to do in particular, now is the time. Tell me where you would like to go.
Can I talk to Mr. Hattori about where he got sort of the plot line for this ballet?
Yeah, of course you can. So Joe is gone. You and
I after he asked me to tutor him, after he leaves the stage, I like stand there and do just a series of like celebratory pirouettes.
The string quartet notice what you're doing and strike a merry jig. But then, yes, you can then... So Mr. Hattori, who I didn't describe the appearance of, but he's like a tall, lean man. He's got kind of like art school vibes. He's in his like early 40s. And he's kind of sat over by the side of the gym, and he is like leafing through what you assume to be the script of Moonlight Castle. Or Twilight Castle.
And by script, of course, you mean choreographic notes.
Choreographic notes. It's a jumble of papers that he is like furiously annotating.
So I approach him, clack 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 in my point shoes because they make such a loud noise. Cluck, 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 cluck. And I say, Mr. Hattori, I just wanted to say I love the story that you've created.
Flattery will get you nowhere.
No, but I do. I was wondering, just so I can connect more with the character, where did you get the idea for this story? Is there anything I could read up on to help me to really get into it a little more?
He glances up when you talk about getting into character, and he's like, now you're speaking my language. And he says, do you mean to tell me that you do not know the tale of Baron Ishikawa?
I'm afraid I don't know, sir.
Well,
I would love to learn.
Absolutely, you should educate yourself. You should have researched this weeks ago in preparation for your role.
I'm so sorry, sir.
I suggest you go to the library at once and check in with Mr. Saito. He can direct you further and tell you more of the story. He kind of he leans back and starts to smile a little bit. And he goes, "I first had the idea when I was a dance student myself, you see," and starts to kind of rattle off this long, rambling story of how he came up with the idea of what he clearly considers is a fantastic piece of dance. What you basically get,
and it definitely
the upshot you get from him, I'll give you the SparkNotes version, is that, so Baron Ishikawa, so the legend goes, was lord of this castle many, many centuries ago, and he was said to be a very, very cruel and kind of terrible lord who made kind of pacts with dark powers and was just all around a bad egg. And then the story of the musical is, of course, a story of tragic love, but of course there was never actually any love, and he added that. But in the original telling, he was just a very, very evil lord, and then he was, so the story goes, he was cursed by a sorcerer, and he was so evil that he was locked away so he could never bother this area again.
Oh, well, I shall certainly do some research. I'll do some reading up so I can really delve deep into this character. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
And speaking of the library...
Meanwhile, back at the library.
Hello.
So you guys are still there. Has you done any change, or have you just been kind of tinkering away with the Culture Fair project?
I did also want to see if I could ask Mr. Saito about any books we have or any information we have on the Twilight Castle.
I will.
Yeah,
help
he looks
and
up
assist in
from.
this.
He can direct you to sources you don't need to ask. He kind of looks up from the magazine he's reading, and he says it's actually like he does strike you, despite his kind of old appearance and voice. He does strike you as possibly a younger man than he looks, because he is reading like a fairly chill looking manga. And he just kind of looks up and he's like, "What?
Oh, yes, you wish to read up on your local history. Is this for the Culture Fair?
Just curiosity, sir.
Curiosity. I remember curiosity, yes.
It killed my cat.
Well,
It's another story
no.
entirely. Yes, you'll want to go to the back of the library. Follow me.
and so he leads you.
Come on, Kaneko.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
We're going
sure.
this way.
The two of you follow Mr. Saito through the library, through some windy corridors, round to the back, where there is like a section that's labelled like history, and then he directs you to like a couple of books towards the bottom, which are specifically about the history of the local area. And he says,
Now, these ones are about the history of the school, and how the school came to be where it is. That should have some context for you. That's some context for you.
Bless you.
It's a combination of both.
Bless you.
Like I kind of had to clear the throat. A combination
Of information about the local area. I'm sure that will be enough to satisfy your curiosity. And this one in particular, and he gives you a book, and he goes, this one has information on the plans of the castle back in the day and some blueprints that I'm sure will be very interesting for you.
I will take a photo of those on my
nice.
on my phone, because I have a feeling I'll probably need this later.
Well, ISA will probably love those.
Yep. So I'm gonna without telling you what for. I would like you
Asuna.
both to roll for a challenge rating of 2, please.
Okay. Oh, but if it's not 4, I don't know if I get extra dice. Do I get extra dice?
Give me your skills.
I have reading, literature, and walking on train tracks.
Noted. And
One of these things is not like the others.
and Kaneko, what are your skills?
English literature, esports, and what is my third one? No, I've got listening to music written down here, so I don't think so. I think I'm a vibey person. I do like a vibe.
I think esports is your bad habit, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
esports.
the thing your parents don't want you to do.
Either way, short answer is neither of you get any bonuses. So you get one each. I believe, Peter, you do have a stress dice you can use, though.
Is the librarian trying to kill you?
I won't.
The librarian is not trying to kill you.
No, that's a 4.
I might need to run outside quite quickly.
Roll for it.
Ooh, double 4s.
Helpful. So that's just a wash. No negative. Actually, you add a stress dice. I'm gonna have because you didn't roll any 6s at all or any 5s. So I'm gonna have it. Kaho, do you want to? I'll allow you to nominate. Would you like to have 2 stress dices on Kaneko, or do you want to have 1 on Kaho?
We'll have 1 on Kaho.
Yep. So you're both a little bit stressed out, but you don't really know why.
We're BFFs.
Yeah, well, you're kind of... So what you've done is you've kind of got the book. Mr. Saito is there. He seems to have been distracted by, like, the book. He's like, oh, yes,
This one's quite good. This one's on Chinese history, yes.
and he's kind of a bit distracted by the book, so he's just kind of enjoying himself. But he's with you guys. So, yeah, you can spend as long as you like with this book. but you do have pictures of the kind of the plans of the castle as kind of the last study was. They've not done any archaeology here, but this is kind of the gist. So you've got some plans.
Ooh.
I'd like to learn more about history to see if there's any, like, I'd like to read through some of the books and just get a basic idea of the history and how the school came to be founded. To see if there's anything that Asane didn't learn.
Pertinent to the moon door. Yep.
As somebody who spends their time
Asane.
studying and trying to micromanage games and stuff, can I look through and go, if I were to build this castle, where would I put the absolute worst thing in it? Or if this
I
was
will give you...
yeah.
I like that. I like that logic a lot.
That's great, yeah.
I'd like you both to roll on separate rolls. One of you for looking into the local... So, Kaho, just look into history of the local area. That's a difficulty of 1. It's not difficult. And I'm going to give you a difficulty of 3 for yours, Kaneko, but I will definitely allow you to use that as a bonus. That's a really clever idea.
Right.
So you can use your gaming knowledge.
Right, green is my stress dice. Not that
Yep.
comes across
So
in
you
an
both
audio
have stress
video.
dice.
Same, green is my stress dice.
Well, I got a 5 and a 6, so that is
Double success. Yep,
however,
2 of the 3.
I got a 1 on a standard dice.
That's okay. 1 on a standard dice means nothing. You're good. You're starting to get an understanding. We can kind of return to you in a moment. You need 1 more success on that. And Kaho,
Right.
I need you can roll as much as you like, but I just need 1 success. Yep, you just need 1 success.
I got 1 success.
Yay! And you didn't roll a 1 on your stress dice.
I didn't. I got a 3 on that one.
Perfect.
Yay!
Yep, so you've succeeded. So you basically discover the castle. It kind of chimes in with what Gin was telling you. The castle used to stand here. It was kind of the center of power for the Ishikawa family, who were like kind of... they were ruled here for about 300 years. They were a fairly notable family that were kind of involved throughout the Sengoku era and all of that. And then they died out round about the 1600s. And one of the most notable people in that was Baron Daisuke Ishikawa, who Daisuke. Thank you.
I love that name.
Yeah, and it mentions that he was like part of a local legend. Like the historical record is scant on him. There's not too much writing other than we know roughly his dates.
Yep.
But there is definitely local legend says he was. It's kind of like Vlad the Impaler sort of vibe. It's like clearly it's a legend that's kind of got out of hand. It's hard to the source literally says it's hard to find the historical Daisuke. But yeah, there's talk of that. The main thing it talks about that you think is of interest is that a lot of archaeologists in the area believe that there are extensive kind of undercrofts in this area. They've never really excavated. But there is a scientific belief there is kind of areas underneath this whole kind of district that would have been built round about that time.
That seems very inappropriate for a place known to have earthquakes.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Right?
And kaiju attacks.
Magic.
I would both hate and love to be an insurance salesman in this region.
The insurance, this city, incidentally, like some of the richest people in the city are skyscraper builders.
Thanks.
That's because
the school governors that you might meet on Friday, a lot of them are fairly wealthy kind of construction magnates who are making a lot of dollar off of having to rebuild buildings that have been trashed by kaiju.
Oh, we could get sponsored by them. Sponsor Kaiju Club.
So, what did you want to do? Yeah, it is kind of we'll trash your building. So, Kaneko, did you want to roll another dice to try and work out stuff, or are you kind of good?
Oh boy, I feel like I'm real near getting to the end of this, and I've got a tournament coming up, so I wanna win here before I might get my arse absolutely handed to me. Right.
Do you get rid of a stress die if you roll well on it?
I don't believe so. I think the idea is
they stay until you turn into a monster.
You've kaiju'd. Yeah. So the more you play, the more likely you are to kaiju, or vice versa.
What if you drink some nice calming tea?
That's good for you, but no.
I got a 5.
Alex, you got a 5. So you look at these plans. They're very stripped back, but you confirming everything that Asuna kind of believes. If this was a dungeon and you was a dungeon master and you was trying to work out where to put the bad things, you can see from where the castle walls would have been. It would be kind of slap bang round about the gym. Would be the sort of place you would go.
Oh, right. I mental note.
Your humble opinion.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say for sure. It wouldn't necessarily be the gym. It could be buildings adjacent to the gym or kind of around. But like that section of the school premises is where you would plonk it.
That's the bit with the mist wall in front and the casually built bonfire.
Yeah, that's the one.
Cool. So I will lean across and point out. It's like, right. Now I can't be for certain. However, I do believe that's where I would put the worst thing. So I think the moon door might be around there somewhere.
So I'm going to allow at this point. I'm going to assume we're getting towards home time. Unless you guys wanted to do anything more specific, I was going to have Akane arrive at this point to meet Joe in the library, since you guys are there already.
Yeah. I'm going to arrive a little bit early so that I can talk to... What was his name again, the librarian?
Mr. Saito.
Mr. Saito.
So you walk into the library, Akane. I'd like you to roll 1 dice, please. Challenge rating is 1. Again, you don't know what it is. Just roll me a dice. I know what your skills are, and you don't get
Got a 6, baby.
6. As you're walking down the corridor, you see Nozomi coming away from the library, and she kind of clocks you, and she just kind of gives you a bit of a your freaking Kaho's friend gives you a bit of eyes.
Did she say that?
She doesn't. She says that with her eyes. And then she storms off down the corridor. You don't know where she's going.
I give her just a sickly sweet smile.
She kind of hurries up. She gives you the impression she's kind of keen to get going. Like, she doesn't really want to bandy words.
And she disappears right up her own anus. You know.
You tried, Akane. You tried.
She pulls off down a corridor and is gone. And then you enter the library, and Mr. Saito is not there. So you come into the library and you see the main thing you see Kaho's Culture Fair project, and it has been trashed.
Wait. Oh yeah.
No.
It has it's been it's covered in something's been poured over it, some kind of liquid, and like the corners are all kind of boiled off and bits have been pulled away. It is a state. Oh wait, hang on a minute. Is
Helen gone?
Is Helen gone?
Did that kill Helen?
Oh my
I know that Kaneko is here, so I feel like
you go over.
I feel like this news is going to be better coming from Kaneko. So I go, Kaneko, are you here?
You hear your friend's voice.
Oh, okay. Well, someone's shouting in the library, so it's obviously quite important. I'll wander over. I'll wander over. I'll wander over with the Pritt stick in hand. Still the Pritt stick in hand. Hasn't really put it down.
You don't know if you're allowed to.
Yeah.
Kaneko, look what's happened.
It's a state. It is a state.
In exasperation, I break the Pritt stick in half.
It snaps.
Where's Kaho? How long have you been gone? I saw what's her name again? Nozomi. I saw Nozomi leaving. Do you think she...
Oh, that utter anus.
Oh, we should beat her up.
No.
We should turn into Kaiju and beat her up.
Both of those, I don't think, are necessary.
What?
Hi guys, what's the situation? Holy shit.
Yes, okay.
Is that the arrival of Asuna?
Yeah.
Right. Is Aiko, are you there as well? If you come with Asuna?
I like the idea that you've just left me in the gym and I haven't noticed because I'm in the middle of researching for my biology project.
You're just vibing
I can work
to the
with
music.
that if you'd rather be in the gym. I'm
gonna stay behind in the gym because it's nice and quiet now. All of the jocks have left and I could just sit on the floor and just do my thing with my laptop.
Yeah, so you're in. We'll come back to you in a minute, but you're in the kind of empty gym, just kind of vibing with the large empty space.
Right. Now, what I think we should do is, I think we should move this because I don't think we want to be replacing the library.
As you guys are talking about this, Mr. Saito comes by. His nose is in a book. He's not noticed the culture exhibit at all. He's just like,
"Couldn't there be less shouting in the library, please?"
I whisper to the other two. Should we tell Mr. Saito? Do you think he can do anything? He might be able to look at the the CCTV and get someone in trouble.
I don't think they had CCTV in a library. I'm gonna be honest.
Even if they do, you'd bet your ass Mr. Saito doesn't know how to use it.
I think no. Well, we clearly know who did do this. We don't need proof. We just need a reason. That's not good.
Vengeance.
Yes. Look.
Do you still have your kendo stick, Asuna?
You may have it if you want it.
Yeah, it can be in like I can have a duffel bag. I was like, that's a very personal question, can't I? But yes, I do.
I think for now, whilst I think vengeance we should put on the back burner, I think we should take this somewhere else before Kaho comes back in here, and we have a minor moth problem.
Where'd you go?
Shit!
We all stand in front of it so she can't
yes,
see.
we all stand
We all
in
do that
perfect
thing.
formation.
Challenge rating of
Kaho, I need
3.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm just putting my duffel bag up like onto my shoulders. So it's hanging at the back, like it's hanging across my back, and it's just physically there is a block there.
Yeah, just making you wider.
I think it's a good time to hug my friend. Across the face. Even though I'm shorter.
I'm going to stand right in front of it.
Yep. So between you, I think that's going to be 1 dice each. And
Can
then
I have
stress
2
die.
because I do graffiti, so I'm good at hiding things and being sneaky?
I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Oh, come on!
I don't think I'm going to give you that.
Fine,
No.
I'll just roll 1 die.
Yeah, and any stress die you've got, you roll as well.
Oh, bugger.
Oh, I got a 5.
Can I get
5?
2 dice because I'm using a piece of my athletics equipment?
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Well, I'll
You
allow it
turning
then,
into
yes. What have we got, Kaneko?
Oh, that was a straight run of failures, so I'm now rolling 2 stress dice on all my...
2 stress dice for you. This is a stressful situation. Kaneko, talk to me.
I got a 5 on the normal dice, and then I rolled a 1 on the stress dice.
Okay. So what happens here is you successfully hide the trash culture exhibit from Kaho. Kaho comes around and mainly her attention is drawn by the fact that suddenly Kaneko has got a bit stressed.
It's sprouting tentacles.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
Kaneko.
so we haven't
Outdoors,
really
quickly.
discussed what happens when you become kaiju. So I'm just going to let you free roleplay how this happens. Like, do you start to like turn into it to bits? Do you start
physically.
To turn them...
I was going to go.
Yeah.
I've ever going to go with. Have you ever seen a very fluffy cat in a glass bowl? Right.
Yes,
I can go with that.
It's cute.
Yes. I imagine that that there's just sort of a puff of steam that comes out from around me. Massive amounts of steam and
Massive
foam.
it is.
Genuinely steam, and it's not a pleasant smell. And
I want to see this starting and set off the fire alarm.
Yep, you run over and you set off the fire alarm.
and then as the steam dissipates, a sort of an octopus is now in a long orange octopus with little like blue rings and quite like veiny eyes and quite damp, is now doing its very best to take up as little space as possible.
So there's 2
How
things.
big
Yeah,
do
so
you
how
normally
big are
get?
you, first of all?
I think I said 20 foot in the middle of that,
Yep.
of whatever I was saying.
God.
That's fine. So second point is, thankfully, octopuses are able to fit into rather small spaces.
Yeah.
They are fluid.
I think
As I'm
I am
sure
the
I
best
could tell you.
I am. I'm probably the
Got
best
no
one to
bones.
have kaiju'd inside a building.
Yep.
Yeah,
But you...
I would have broken the roof.
Yep. So there's steam, there's a fire alarm, and there is a giant fucking octopus that has wrecked the library. Mr.
Oh,
Saito, Mr. Saito, thankfully did not see you transform because he's had his nose in
He was
the
cleaning
book.
his glasses.
Bit difficult for him to miss the motherfucking octopus. So he's gonna like look up from his book, gonna go look down, then double take up and go, "Oh my god, it's a kaiju!"
I would like to deal with the situation by putting him on a shelf.
Yep, you grab him. You put him on a high shelf, I assume.
Not too high, but just high enough. I'm just going to put him there.
Put me down. I'm too young.
I'm only 25.
I'm only 25.
I can't do this voice anymore.
You must.
I smoked 112 a day since the age of 12.
Give me my cigarettes back.
I'm just gonna.
Right.
Just going to put him on. I'm going to put him on a high shelf, and then just sort of stay quite still. I don't think I should move that much.
Okay, so you're there. You guys can hear, running through the halls, you can hear Miss Yoshida yelling, "Fire alarm! Fire alarm! Everybody assemble outside! We'll be taking the register."
I'm going to...
Is there a window nearby we can throw the octopus
There
out
is a
of?
window that you may attempt to squeeze through. It will be a challenge rating of 2.
I will.
Octopus can
Can I
fit
help?
through.
You may
anywhere.
push
Can we
through.
help fit through?
I
may
will.
push
Yeah.
through.
I will
Kaho,
add a
before
stress
you
die
do
to
this,
Yes.
you may indeed add a stress die to this. So I believe your stress die reset once you've kaiju'd, or vice versa. So you lose the stress die, and then you'll have to acquire more stress.
I need to go to a surface I can camouflage on.
I also believe. I think this is a good point to talk about. It doesn't really talk about being able to voluntarily change between kaiju and not. So I believe you can't. Ergo, I think it's in your. Oh, go on.
There's something about how you can add more stress dice, because once you reach a
Yes.
certain level of stress dice, you change.
Exactly. So what I was going to say is I believe the strategy is if you're a kaiju and you don't want to be a kaiju, your role is basically to roll as much as possible and trying to aim to fail by kind of like adding your own stress dice. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So yeah, this is a challenge of trying to fit through the window, and it is a challenge rating of 2.
I have added 1 stress die.
1 stress die added.
Which I rolled a 6 on. However, I rolled a 2 on my normal dice.
Cool. Well, that is 1 success. Is anybody helping this poor giant
yes.
octopus?
Yes, I'm like I gathered an armful of tentacles, and I'm like.
Right. So while you're
trying to
doing that, you will have moved away from
Remind
the
that
culture
this is
exhibit.
20 feet tall, so...
I was going to say, I think all of us are trying to help out.
Armful.
Okay, so an armful of tentacles is 1 tentacle.
Yeah, armful of tentacle.
Try and push the octopus. I never thought I'd say this sentence.
like a
Try and
sucker
push the
on my
octopus
face.
out of the library.
Come on, Kaneko. Tentacle. Hold. Stop wiggling
Oh,
the
that is
tentacles.
a complete failure on my part.
Complete failure is in, like, but nothing.
No stress. No stress.
Cool.
We're
Yeah.
not chaining kaiju yet.
I wondered if it would chain. I was like, oh god. Okay. So
Oh, I got a 3.
Oh,
no
no.
good.
3.
That means you add a stress
So
dice.
Oh no. So I just. I just get a sucker stuck on my
Kaho.
face. What happens?
Okay.
I
Oh,
rolled a 1
Kaho.
on my stress dice.
So
Oh,
may I
no.
allow for narrative purposes
Yeah.
that basically
See
in
it.
order to move the octopus, your friends move away from the table, and you see upon the table weeks of work have been ruined. And you don't know the cause, you don't know what happened. All you know is that your most valued possession at school has been trashed. And the stress, what does it do to you?
I start out of my back sprouting absolutely giant, terrifying wings.
Mr. Saito screams.
They are great and terrible wings. And they start coming out of my back. And at the same time, it's like I get cocooned into a furry body with legs sprouting, and I somehow end up becoming a very, 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 very large moth.
You were gonna say something, Asuna.
Can I see that this is happening, and while an octopus in a confined space is fine, a moth in a confined space is just going to break itself?
Yep.
You know, that old expression.
See, I don't think I'm that delicate based on just how giant I am.
I'll allow that there's a glass roof.
Even so, I would like to minimise the property damage. So can I try and... Because we established that Kaho only just came in.
Yep.
When all this went down. So
Correct.
can I just try and like body tackle her back out again mid-transformation, try and get her outside?
She was in the
He was
library.
in the
I was already in the
She
library.
wasn't outside. She was further back in the stacks.
Oh, right. Well, never.
I'll
well,
allow you. It's like edit. I'll allow you to kind of body slam her towards the window, which she won't
That
fit
has
through.
an
Fit through, but it's
octopus
kind of
wedged into it.
yeah. But it's like maybe the combined force of
yeah,
the moth will
yeah,
push the
exactly. Maybe we can have a moth-propelled octopus.
Three Stooges logic.
God.
You'll be able to pop them both through the window.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that. I'm conscious of the time, so I'm gonna give you like a little bit. So this is all going on in the library, right? And Mr. Saito is screaming "Kaiju, Kaiju, Kaiju" at the top of his voice. Like, you guys, I will also add, you guys have kind of been in this sort of situation before, and you tend to find that most people can't positively identify you as Kaiju because they don't really believe in the idea of people changing into Kaiju. They just he's just kind of seen this, and it's just kind of made him go mad. So I don't think he's going to finger you after the situation, but he is like
Wait,
Kaiju
what?
on the premises.
Bad
Not.
choice.
I
of
really
words.
I feel
You know what I mean? Like in a
change of-
police lineup. Like,
Uh-huh.
Identify you is the word you were looking for.
There you go.
Identify.
Blood, you guys have dirty mind.
Like, he might think that Kaho just got eaten by it.
Yeah, he's probably panicking about your safety, but I don't think he'll be like, it was them. So you guys are there, and he's screaming Kaiju, and so that you can hear words spreading, like you can hear people in the corridors saying, "What was that? Kaiju, Kaiju! Let's get out of it!" There's panic, right? Word is spreading through the fire alarm drill. I'm going to cut over to Aiko at this point.
Hello.
Just chilling in the
So
gym.
you're
in
just
the gym.
chilling in the gym. And so you are just chilling out in the gym, living your own truth, thinking about octopuses. And then you hear like a noise, and you look up and you notice the Takase twins have entered. They're on the far side. I imagine you're kind of keeping yourself relative to yourself. You're just kind of like quiet.
Yeah, I'm pretty small. I think I'm just sitting like cross-legged, leaning against a wall in like a nook next to a pile of like, I don't know, sports equipment. So maybe I'm not too obvious.
Yeah, so you're not kind of so I'm going to have it that they don't immediately notice you. But the two of them are kind of moving through the hall. And if you want to eavesdrop on what they're talking about, it will require a difficulty of 2. Or you can just kind of watch them. Stay put.
We do hate them, and I do like a little bit of drama in my life. I will eavesdrop on them. So I don't think this is any of my skills, though.
Yeah, so that's just going to be... I mean, do you have any stress dice? You don't. You're pretty zen, aren't you?
I don't. I've not
So
done
You
anything
can voluntarily
yet. So...
add a stress dice, or you can kind of assume we're going to do this over time, basically, so you'll have to follow them.
Yeah, I'll follow them. So if I roll one now, and then I roll one
One
later, 'cause
now?
I don't think I'm
Yep.
stressed about doing it. I don't think it's worth it. Oh, that's a 6! Yay!
True. Also, a 6. Right, that's one half. Yeah, so basically, I think for that, you kind of begin to get dribs and drabs of their conversation, and you kind of slip in to follow them. They're going up, and you think this is very curious. You see that they get onto the stage, the ballet stage, and then they head off into the boys' changing room.
Huh. One of them
Joe.
is a girl.
Yeah, which and you are very aware that is a strange thing to do.
That is. He'll get in trouble.
Yeah, very, very naughty.
Yes, I'm
but
definitely gonna
before
follow
they
them.
head. Well, yeah, so you are welcome to follow them into the boys' changing room. But you kind of
There's
get.
a sentence.
You are welcome to follow them into the boys' changing room. You hear a little bit of their conversation, and you can hear Akira, the boy, is basically saying something on the lines of, we must act soon. We can't wait any longer. And then she's saying, no, we had a plan, and we're going to stick to the plan. That was always the plan. We discussed this, and we shouldn't deviate. And he says, I know, but I'm getting worried that somebody's going to rumble us. And she says, no, it's fine. We know what we're doing. Like, it's my plan, and I make the best plans, Akira. You know this. I am Nozomi. And then they disappear into the boys' changing room.
Oh, darn it. Okay, I'll scoop up all of my octopus-related paraphernalia and tuck it back in my satchel and creep after them, making sure no one else...
Does your bag look like an octopus with like
His little
straps?
tentacles.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like a round bag and the tentacles like hang around your shoulder, I guess.
Aw.
Okay. Yep. So
Yeah. So I'll go
as a
pause at the door.
blanket thing for following them. Just roll me another.
Okay. Oh, that's a 2.
A 2. So you will add a stress dice because you didn't roll success.
Yes. Okay.
So I'll have that kind of narratively. You follow them into the boys' changing room. It looks. You've never been in a boys' changing room before, and you're surprised to learn it looks pretty similar to the girls' changing room.
That can't be true.
You'd always
That's a
imagined
lie.
it would. You'd always imagined it would be different. But
I assumed it would look like a dungeon.
yeah, you assumed it'd somehow be. But anyway, yeah.
It would smell like one. I know this is true.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell great. So you follow them in, and you notice, and this is even more curious, they're kind of moving through the boys' changing room in the direction of the showers. And you're like, this is very, very strange. But you're not going to get any more information because you didn't get a success.
Oh, okay.
So you
Maybe
may
the Chamber of
continue to
Secrets
follow
it.
them, or you can break off.
I'm nervous I'll be found, but I'm gonna... Is there any signal in here? Can I text anyone just to be like, if I die, this is how I died?
Yeah, you're on school premises. You're welcome to text people. You, of course, are not aware that they're all preoccupied.
Oh,
with
absolutely
Kaiju.
not a
So you're
fucking
definitely
thing.
not going to reply, but you're welcome
You
to text
call
them.
us and we answer and just go, ah!
Yeah, so I will text... God, I forgot
How
everyone's
do we
names
fit
again.
an octopus out a window?
Which,
With
Okay.
the
It's
a
octopus's
riddle?
help.
Right, Asuna is like the jock, so I'm going to text her and say, following evil twins into boys' bathroom. If I die, they killed me. That's it.
Dead.
And I don't... Yeah, dead. I do a
Who's
couple
gonna
of
be
skull
the flipping
emojis.
Chamber of Secrets down the pipes again.
I spent quite a while with like octopus emojis
Neither
and skull
confirm nor
emojis.
deny.
The one place we never checked, the boys' changing room.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I follow them again. I'm going to roll.
Yep, roll again. I won't give you any more info.
Oh,
unless I get
fuck,
one
that's a
success.
3. Can I add a stress
3?
dice?
You've already got a stress dice, which you should have rolled.
Oh, I should have rolled that too. Yes, I should have.
Yeah, H.
That was a 2.
A 2 and a 3. You're going to add another
knows?
stress dice because you got no
Oh boy,
successes.
that's 2
You
stress
have 2
dice.
stress dice.
Dices.
So they haven't come out. The showers are not on, but they haven't come out.
Oh, I don't want to know what's going on in there. I don't know what to do. I keep failing. What happens if you keep failing? You just keep adding stress
eventually
dice.
you're kaiju. So what?
Oh.
So I'll allow you. I'll leave that there because what happens next, which is very hard to miss, is you hear some kind of boom, boom, boom noises from outside.
Discord sound suppressed that. So
I
I'm
was
not
going to
sure
say,
I-
you heard some,
Yeah.
like...
Yeah, that sounded
Noises.
like you were a computer powering down.
like
All
the
right,
phone
you
opening.
hear what sounds like large footsteps from outside.
Oh.
Amazing. Okay. Oh, from outside, as in like outside the boys' changing room.
Yes, nothing to do as far as you know with Takasa's. You.
Oh shit! I jump in a locker.
You jump in a locker. Yep. You hide in
And
a
it
locker.
smells so bad.
It smells
okay.
awful.
So I'm going to do this from Aiko's point of view first, and I'm going to go to the other guys the same moment. But you, Aiko, it's hard to hear. You can just hear this kind of klaxony, robot-y voice from outside, and it's saying something along the lines of, it's just like, stand back, kaiju alert, kaiju alert.
Oh no.
And then it's kind of punctuated by bang, 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 like big stompy footsteps.
Do people not recognise us as the hero kaiju yet?
Probably.
So we're going
Considering
to
all
cut
the
back
good we've
to
done.
the Library of Infinite Destiny.
Hello.
So I'm going to...
I don't know what sound an octopus makes, so.
So the octopus is going blah, 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 and the moth is going blah, 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 blah. I don't know. You guys are having a moment. The wall, I'm going to
Chemical,
allow...
please stop it with the tentacles. Oh, that one got my in the face. Chemical.
Right, I'm going to try and get out the window again, and I'm going to add 2 more stress dice.
Yep, so you now have a grand total of 3.
You
Are we
wipe
still
your stress
helping?
dice when you transform.
He did, but he added 1 last.
Oh, right.
I'm adding 2.
Yeah, you're correct, but he's now on 3 stress dice.
I am an octopus trying to go
Very
through a window.
stressed
If this is
kaiju.
not a stressful situation, I'm writing a letter to David
Before,
Attenborough.
I don't want to metagame it. Before you add those 2 stress die, do you want to take a look out the window?
I will take a look out the window.
Maybe you don't want to go out
I
there.
will take a look out the window with just
1
one bit of stress.
Yeah, so just so you're fully informed of the situation. So clearly the alarm has been raised that there are kaiju
I got
here.
bugger all 3 and a 4.
3 and a 4, add a stress die. So what you see, nonetheless, I think all of you see this. This is a narrative thing. Is clearly the alarm has been raised about the kaiju. So you remember those soldiers you saw on the door?
There we go.
Yeah, so you don't know the context yet exactly, but you can see those two blokes and like 2 or 3 other guys and girls with them in uniform. They look a bit frightened, frankly. They're kind of hanging back, but like lumbering into the playground, like across the basketball court, is a pretty janky looking robot. And this thing is like, it kind of, like kids toy robots that are all kind of squares and they're like red and silver. It's like that, but like about 4 stories tall with big comedy fists. And like a kind of, and then just to top it all off, it's got like a little military hat on, like a little general's hat, and it's got written across its chest in Japanese characters. It's like the Kaiju Patrol.
Oh
God!
And then in brackets underneath, prototype. And it's lumbering towards you. Its lips don't move, but it's saying Kaijus. Back down, leave school alone. And it's kind of marching self-righteously over to you.
Well,
I can imagine what with the tentacles and the madness, it looks kind of like we're all being attacked by
like the
by
kaiju bot is coming to try and save you, ironically. And I think we'll leave it as a cliffhanger there. You have your first kaiju battle looming.
Oh no, and I'm in a locker.
With the kaiju
And we're
bot.
stuck in a library.
You're stuck in a library. Aiko's stuck in a locker in the boys' changing room, and there's a war box.
Who knows where Joe has gone?
I would like to note that the sound of my phone going off with Aiko's message was lost amid the grand tumult of me failing my roll to, or only getting one success on my roll to bundle Kaho out of the librry.
Basically
into a less harmful place, and rolling a 1 on my stress dice. So
yeah, you were kind of enveloped by octopus and stress, and so you didn't hear your phone go off.
Yeah. So whatever. So I like to imagine that the octopus is ejected from the library, closely followed by a board the size of a double-decker bus.
Yes. Well, we shall see.
Yes,
I was gonna say.
Oh my goodness, it looks like the Kaiju Girls are in trouble every which way you look at it. But you'll have to wait for next week to find out how they save the school and their homework from destruction. But until then, thank you for listening to Direcast. If you'd like to keep up to date with episodes and announcements, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Direcast, and on Instagram at DirecastPod, and subscribe to us on your favourite podcatcher. And hey, if you enjoyed listening to us, maybe consider giving us a rating or review, or sharing us with a friend. We'd really love that. You can also now support us on Patreon, and we would absolutely love it if you'd consider giving us just a few pounds a month. Go to patreon.com/Direcast to check out the tiers and rewards available. Direcast is Lukey Slynn, Matt George Lovett, Jacob Wall, Helen, Peter Wellman, and H Folkmans. Our logo and banner art are by H Folkmans. The Direcast theme and the Kaiju Girls theme are composed and performed by Matt George Lovett. This episode was edited by Peter Wellman. This week we were playing Kaiju Girls by Grant Howitt, a link to which can be found in the episode description. And at least for this week, that's how the die are cast.